It has begun. Hi, everybody. Happy New Year.
What's up?
You can say that for 5 more days, I think, because who said that? Wasn't that in Seinfeld or Curb Your Enthusiasm? You could say it till it's 7th, and then
I think
after
it's
that, you can't
Curb.
say it.
I think that's
Yeah,
Curb.
yeah, okay.
But it's only the 2nd, so get off my fucking dick.
Hey, come on, man.
We haven't seen anybody since
5 more days.
Okay, well,
It's technically a new year.
Yes.
yeah.
It hasn't gotten old yet. It hasn't worn out its welcome quite yet.
5 more days.
Well, what's up? As you can tell, Alpha Romero's here. Thank you for joining us, man. We wanted to chat and just have a good time because, yeah, man. I don't know. It feels good not having to have watched something. Sometimes that becomes a pain in the ass, especially when Todd makes you watch Freddy's Nightmares. We did Freddy's Nightmares Wednesday. I'm like, guys, that show's fucking terrible. It's abysmal.
Yeah,
I'm like, I'm not having fun doing it anymore. So I told Todd, I don't want to do anymore unless you guys vote for it. Like, we'll legit put a voting out, and if you guys really want it, we'll do it. Todd's fighting me on that, but the show fucking blows. I'd rather do Tales from the Crypt or something better. I don't know it. I've given it 7 episodes.
People keep voting for it. We got to give people what they want, right?
Nobody's voting for it. What are you talking about? You're
Well,
just choosing to do it.
They were. Past 2 episodes, they were.
Well, I don't know. Not only are you guys gonna have to vote for it, it's gonna have to win by a 2-1 spread.
Okay.
It's gonna have to win by a lot.
Okay, 2-1. All right.
But it's really bad. It's
not good.
It's
double undeniable.
Yes.
Yeah, no recounts even on the table. It's got to be that much of a landslide. It's double the length of any other anthology horror show, and it has no right to be. It was an hour-long series, and it's just, I hate it. I really fucking hate it. And if I ever get to talk to Robert Englund, I'm going to tell him as much.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be like, dude, I'm
sure
glad you got.
He doesn't think too highly of it either, honestly.
And to be fair, I'm sure he knows nothing about it. He went in and did his like bumpers and just recorded his shit probably in a couple days for the whole season, and he had no idea what the fuck they were putting in between them. But still, how's it going, everybody? We got some folks in the chat. We got Satan. I didn't know Satan worked a regular job. I kind of appreciate you now.
Nice. Hell yeah, dude.
What's up? Say man of the people, guys. Come on.
That's right.
Man of the people. Todd, who cares? John, what's up? Why are we talking about Biscuit? Oh, because you did your soundbite. The only Biscuit album I like is Significant Other. I love new metal though. So you love new metal, but Significant Other is like the quintessential new metal album, which to be fair, you said you liked, but like they are the new metal band. I know they didn't invent it, but they took it to the highs, and I guess Linkin Park was technically even bigger, but Limp Bizkit, from the backwards ball cap to the shell-toed Adidas, to the really bad MC at the mic, it is new metal.
No, I'm thinking of Kid Rock. Wasn't that the Bidget?
I love Kid Rock too. Yeah,
Josie. I fucking hate Kid Rock.
His first album is awesome, dude.
Okay,
it's great.
Not though.
Devil Without a Cause. It's a great album, man.
It's not though.
Yeah. See, I was always like, when Chocolate Starfish and the hot dog flavored water came out, like I thought that was like a perfect fucking album. Like for that type of music, perfect track by track. Like every track sounded like a hit to me when I first bought it when it first came out. And now, it's like okay.
I was still into it when that came out, and when that record came out, I was really into it. But I was fooled because the opening of the record was so great. Like that first few tracks, and ladies and gentlemen, hot dog, and the first few tracks are good, but dude, that last half of that record, I don't know who told Fred Durst that he could sing, but they really need to stay away from the ballads. And even on Significant Other, which is the one that their one album that I think is really, really good.
That's their best. Yeah.
It's undeniably sonically, it's produced so well. Put it on a good system, it sounds fucking phenomenal. But
front to back, that's a great album.
No, if you had to give a weak link in that record, it is the fucking ballad, the No Sex.
I love that song, dude. It is great.
Should've kept my pants on last night.
It's my ass, your perfume. Yeah.
I just hate his voice, like singing voice. It's so fucking bad, and he's terrible.
I love it.
And auto-tune was made for him, but funny enough, it wasn't popularized till after they were done. But
I always like the I thought it was funny, the video. It's a live video from forget what year it was, but it was the Family Values tour with Stained, and it was
Yeah.
Aaron Lewis doing I'm
Featuring.
on the
Outside,
and it's just fucking Fred Durst sitting there with a microphone, just like
Yeah.
it's like that friend that has no musical talent but just wants to sit in for the karaoke aspect of
No.
it, you know.
And I can only knock him so much for that because they needed that Durst push to get, because that was before Stain blew up, because it was the Aaron Lewis Outside single live, and then that opened up the door for when Break the Cycle came out, and Break the Cycle exploded.
Great album. I love that album
because of that single. So in a way they needed that like feature, because it was Aaron Durst, their Love Spawn, Aaron Lewis featuring Fred Durst was the official track. And I'm thinking, all he does is in the middle of the song, in the bridge section, there's a real motherfucking feel, y'all. I'm feeling those lives. That's all he says. And I'm like, that was featuring Fred Durst.
But did you want anything more than that, though? Really?
No, he's sitting there. It's a real motherfucking feel, y'all.
Dysfunction was a pretty
ladders.
big album of Stained as well, Aaron.
No, it was
not as big as Break the Cycle.
It wasn't a massive album, but it was like it was I don't know, like it was the Master of Puppets lubing you before the bigger albums to come. But
yeah, like Mud Shovel was like their version of what Limp Bizkit had with like Faith or Counterfeit. Yeah. And then the next one was their big blow up.
And my dad was huge into that fucking record. Like Todd wonders why I hate this shit. But it was all over my house. My dad was so big into that first Disturbed record. It never left the CD player.
It's a great album, man.
Break the Cycle came out. It was just all we listened to for like a fucking year straight. And funny enough, see, my dad tried to keep his like finger on the pulse of what was hip. And when I was a kid, I grew up liking the music he liked when I was born, but that was the music that was carrying over from his high school days, because I was born in the mid 80s. And so, you know, I grew up on the Priests and the Maidens and the Metallicas and all that stuff. And then I thought, oh, my dad has great taste in music. No, it turns out he just likes the flavor of the month. So once like, I remember when Priest got back together with Halford in 04, that Ozfest lineup, it was amazing. The Sabbath original lineup, Priest reunion with Rob Halford, you have Slayer, you had just Slipknot headlining the fucking parking lot. It was an insane lineup. I remember thinking I was flexing to my dad, like, oh man, I just got tickets. We're going to see the reunited Priest, thinking like he would like approve, like, oh, that's so cool, son. He just looks at me and goes, I saw him when they fucking mattered. That was my dad. My
dad was that guy.
He was the
hipster friend of yours. It's just like, I was into them before anybody else was. It's cool.
He was a fair weather fan. Like, they're not big anymore. And I remember he loved Disturbed. Like when Disturbed came out, that first album, and I remember they came to where we live, Todd, or maybe like to like Lincoln.
Yeah.
And I don't remember if it was like Pershing or where the fuck they played, but like a mid little kind of not a huge venue. And I remember telling my dad, well, hey, Disturbed's playing up there. He was hot on him, dude. Yeah. And even he said, it's not big enough for me. Like it's not a stadium yet. Like, God dang, you suck, Dad. You fucking suck, dude. You suck. And he liked Papa Roach when that first single came out.
Papa Roach.
It's a terrible song too, by the way.
The other song on that album though that I still like is Between
Home,
Angels
Dead
and
Cell.
Insects. Between Angels and
Yes,
Insects.
that's
that
a great
one
song.
when that came out, I was
that.
like, all right, there's no money.
Yeah.
And then they went off into this like weird emo thing. I don't know what the hell what happened to that, but
their name is so ironic because they have proven to be a cockroach of the industry where they won't die. They've survived. No, it's crazy.
That's true. Yeah,
they've never been catapulted into insane fame like Limp Bizkit levels or Linkin Park levels, but they've managed to be a chameleon and blend with all. So yeah, right. They jumped on the fucking rap rock thing. That was their first record. And then they moved on to the butt rock thing, like where there's like you had when you're Nickelback.
Well, they had that one song that like every like in school, like every prep liked, everybody liked it. It was that one was like
Murder?
My heart open, save myself, like everybody would like, and that's when I was just like, what is this shit? Like what happened to the
they even changed their image. Like there's one moment where they look like fucking Buck Cherry, and then they fucking look like some emo pussies. I'm like, dude, as far as like marketing and just like staying in the game, I have to give them props.
They're like Kiss. They're like Kiss. Kiss was like, hey, rock is dead. Let's do disco. Hey, disco's dead.
Jacoby try to move his hair like Static X too.
Yeah.
I Yeah, it's funny. I've always laughed at their name. Like, you guys literally are that. You guys are a fucking cockroach in my life.
Cockroaches in the industry.
I can't believe they're still around. You know,
Are they still around?
Yeah.
They just came out with a new single, I think, and they're
and they still, you know, like I said, they life keeps them down just enough, but they're big enough to where they'll get like radio airplay, and they'll still have singles that kind of get play, and they'll still show up at your local backyard radio rock festival, and they'll be somewhat high in the billing. Like they're kind of like a Seven Dust, but they're a little, they're like a notch.
They're a little bigger than Seven Dust.
I like Seven Dust.
They're a notch above Seven Dust because they have like lasting radio hits, but Seven Dust has maintained where they were at for fucking 30 years.
Yeah, they peaked in the 90s, Seven Dust.
Yeah, they were like late 90s when they had Bitch and Angel's Son.
That was 95. That Bitch was the first record. But like, oh no, actually, was it 95? Maybe even earlier.
No, it was 90. It was later than that.
No, it wasn't.
I thought it was a little later in the 90s.
Their second record, Home, was 97. And then they had 99 was Animosity, I believe. But anyway,
97
was their second album, right?
Bitch.
Okay. Well, then what year was Home?
Let me look at Home.
Why are we talking about
99?
Okay, so I'm.
We always start these streams off by talking about this
guys,
music from yesteryear.
That's right, and then Animosity would have been 2000, 8th grade. Okay, whatever. Yeah. But regardless, they peaked in the 90s. Not really. They never got big. They just kind of had a few radio hits, and they had a loyal fan base, and they've still maintained that. And they are perpetually the support act. They've never been a headliner.
Well, they were like that band that like popped up right when all the other bands were blowing up, like, you know, in the late 90s, Korn, Limp Bizkit, those types. Sure. And then you'd see like Seven Dust pop in every now and then. And they were like, oh, we're the legit, you know, badass band because we have a legitimate black dude in our band. Like that's how it was perceived by all my friends. And stuff. It was like, oh, that's the real shit. That dude's awesome.
And yet he didn't rap. He was the one that didn't rap. No,
he actually had a great voice too. Like
the first couple Seven Dust records are really solid. I think
like them
they're
too,
fun records. But no, they were like that band where all these bands that opened for them. Oh, it was like the fucking monkey's paw curse on them.
There was the Dope, Fear Factory,
but they're gonna get bigger than
Old Chamber.
Like no, I'm saying, dude,
forgot about Dope.
All these bands like Limp Bizkit, Kid Rock, and Creed, they all opened for fucking Seven Dust at a point. And just Seven Dust has always been this just. There's another band that's like that too. Trivium. You guys know Trivium? They're obviously a little later.
I like Trivium.
I do not. Oh, that album 25 years ago. They're doing great. Great track record. But they
I said I liked one of their albums.
They are perpetually a support act. Like how often do you see that big Trivium tour coming through where they have opening? No, they're always like Under Lamb of God. Seven Dust is always opening up for Daughtry or fucking Creed or fucking Nickelback or fucking whatever.
There's no Flaw.
Wow.
Flaw. Todd loved that bullshit too.
Now I'm going through the Rolodex of all those bands from back in the day that like they first came out and they had that album and I went and bought it and I was like, this is the next big thing, like Soil and fucking Stereo Mud. And like all these bands, like, oh, this is the next big thing. This is the next big thing. They had one album, then fucking disappeared, and I was the only guy on the block that knew who the hell any of these people were.
So
just like, well,
there was the A tier of new metal, there was the B tier, and the dude Flaw was like D tier. This is like this is clearly American Head Charge. I think is like C tier. All these hanger-oners, like, all right, at a point we got to cut it off. Nobody else allowed in the club. You're done. And then I think,
like that tier with like. I don't know, like Head PE and fucking what was the other one? There was a bunch of bands with the name Head, you know, for some of those Godhead, Machine Head. Machine Head's pretty good.
Machine Head's still around, but Godhead had one radio hit called UPO. I remember it in like 1999, the same year. Yeah, I remember.
Well, they also had that cover of the Beatles, Eleanor Rigby. I remember the video for that used to play back in the day, and I was like, fucking weird, but all right. I used to have a Godhead poster that I got from like, I don't know, one of those magazines, Hit Parader or something back in the day. And it was like they had the most stereotypical like Hot Topic look you could think of. But I was like, oh, that's fucking awesome. Like that's what I wanted to look like. You know? That's all I knew. I was just like, oh, I have this poster from this, you know, one song that I knew of them.
You actually
weren't they on like the Dracula 2000 soundtrack?
They all were. The entire B tier of new metal was all over those like those horror soundtracks. Oh and you would always shoe in Slayer and Pantera too. because they were still kind of hanging on. They were like bridging this gap between those bands because they were still kind of around, still doing Ozfest and shit like that, hanging on. But you bring up a good point with the Eleanor Rigby. The 90s was peak trendy to get big, being being a new metal band doing an ironic cover, whether it was Faith, Limp Bizkit, Marilyn Manson doing Eurythmics, Sweet Dreams. They all fucking did it. And it was
a great one though. I don't know if you guys are fans of the band Deadsy.
I know Deadsy.
Remember Deadsy? The Tom Sawyer cover that they did on their Commencement album back in that.
I don't remember that.
So good. Like my dad was one of them, kind of like your dad. He was like, my dad kind of grew up. He was big. He liked Metallica. He, it's like the guys. Like I was the first one that was into Depeche Mode in Kentucky before anybody who knew who they were. So like he hated all that shit. Man, by the he was like, oh, Korn. Fuck them, like Limp Bizkit's awful, all that's awful. But Deadsy, he heard that cover, that Tom Sawyer cover from Deadsy, and he was like, these guys are fucking legit. And I was like, yeah, I love this. Like that whole album is great. And then they kind of just, because it's the son of Cher, I think. It was from Deadsy.
It's the son of Cher and Greg Allman.
Yeah, that's right.
Sure,
yeah. And they just kind of had that one album and then just kind of disappeared. But I thought that album was great. But yeah, that cover, Tom Sawyer, if you haven't heard that, it's pretty fucking spot on.
One of the bands that was almost a big thing, they almost were like suited for maybe even A tier. I wasn't a fan of them, but Drowning Pool, before that guy died, Dave Williams, because that first record,
I always was just like, I don't know, like I want to hate this band, but like their songs have such good hooks and they're so like, I'm just like, I can't help it, like just even like their like B-level stuff, they always had good hooks in their songs, so I couldn't ever just straight ahead just shit on them like I would like Saliva or one of those bands.
Oh god, Saliva,
yeah.
Dude, we went to the state fair in Missouri one year. This is after Saliva's heyday. And I remember my dad wanted to check it out, and they came on stage, and it's a state fair. There's like bleachers, and there's like 100 foot of just dead grass between the bleachers and the stage. And they come on, they start playing Here Comes the Boom. No, that's POD. What was they had another one.
They had Click Click Boom.
Click Boom was POD. And they
Body Center. Yeah, they had
Boom. Here Comes the Boom was POD. Click Click Boom was
okay. Yeah, that was that one. Okay,
the other Boom song.
Yeah, and it was really confusing. Anyway, they just kind of come out and they're playing, and even my dad was like, "All right, that's enough of that," and we walk away, because hey, they're about a year past their prime for my dad, and but no, they were getting that Ozfest. Ozfest was the tastemaker back then for metal. They set up these bands and they propped them up for success. I mean, they're responsible for Slipknot blowing up. And they were getting that push on that first record, and the singer, he died, I think, on the fucking tour, Dave Williams, and they were getting pushed like there's some like mini Pantera, which by the way, no, they weren't. They were still kind of radio rock or whatever, but that guy died, and I think it took the wind out of her sails because they kind of coasted. They went through like 3 or 4 singers, and they kind of jumped on the butt rock train, and I'm like, oh, you guys are. But I remember that guy in like Hit Parader or Metal Edge or whatever, Dave Williams, him doing an interview saying, we consider ourselves the heirs to Pantera. I'm like, I already hate you.
Yeah.
Like you're a fucking douche. When you come and you do that, and you try and grab the throne from some guy. That's, what is the term? It's just like you're trying to get a headline off someone bigger than you. Like, fuck off. You're not Pantera.
I like Pantera was such a unique thing, just because not even just like music, like musically, yes, because I don't think that you can sound like Dimebag Darrell on guitar without being Dimebag Darrell, or even Vinnie Paul on drums without being Vinnie Paul. But like, I think just culturally, the whole Texas thing, like they were like fucking metal rednecks, like Cowboys from Hell type of thing, and it's just like I can't think of any other band that like grabbed that concept the way that Pantera did back in the day.
Dimebag Darrell, Dimebag took Eddie Van Halen and Billy Gibbons, threw it in a blender, and then turned the amps to 10, the gain all the way up, and a little bit of him in there, and boom, you got his Texas boogie metal redneck sound, and it's great. I think the key to their sound was they were, obviously Phil Anselmo didn't play any instruments, but they had the power trio type sound: one guitar, one bass, one drummer, and they made a big wall of that, and there's something unique about that sound. because the twin guitar attack was real popular at the time, especially, you know, Korn comes in, and then you have Monkey and Head, and all the new metal guys wanted to have like fucking 2 guitar players, and I don't know. It's nice going down memory lane talking about mostly bad music, but you know,
I haven't thought about a lot of these bands in a long time. Can't believe we brought up fucking Dead Z tonight. That's weird.
Yeah, and I remember all that shit, man. Let's see here. Sorry, guys, if we're putting you off talking about this stuff. Let me go through some comments. You know what? Actually, John, it's your fucking fault, dude.
No, it's me. I said I was trying to get you into Results May Vary.
Oh, that's a terrible record.
I love it, dude. I love it.
Yeah,
It's a great album. I love it.
Moon Tiara, there's no way Aaron will like Results May Vary. It doesn't have West Borland. Yeah, and I'm like everybody else where I'm like West Borland is like the sauce of Limp Bizkit. You know, and obviously it's funny, man, because Tool fans would explode because they're the most insufferable fans in the world, but their heads would be blown if I told them this. But when you listen to fucking Limp Bizkit, you hear a lot of Tool, like the way the guitar is, the way he does arpeggios, melodies, and the way he mutes fucking rhythms. A lot of it sounds like it would belong on a Tool record. And I'm sure Maynard would hate that too. You know, he was very influenced by.
Well, it's funny. It's funny. I've always said that Maynard and Tool, like if you look at their lyrics, Tool is basically sophisticated Limp Bizkit lyric wise. Tool will write songs about, you know, fisting and just the most but it's done so sophisticated and it sounds so much more
it's
intellectual than it is. Yes.
Yeah.
Whereas Limp Bizkit's is more, you know, forward,
dumbs it down.
Yes. Prison sex is not actually
basically the same shit.
Prison sex is not actually about 2 guys fucking each other in prison, whereas Limp Bizkit,
but Stink Fist is literally about, you know, fisting someone in the ass.
It totally is not. It's
it is.
It's totally not. We could go on and on about like the lyrical fucking metaphors and shit
totally
like that.
Is.
No, not.
Just like Passenger from fucking Maynard and Deftones is about fucking Roadhead. And that's all it is. It's a song about Roadhead.
But
that's
about
the
Roadhead.
Comedy in Tool that nobody talks about. Like, but that's Tool is basically a comedic band.
So what is Prison Sex about?
I don't fucking know.
A guy fucking another guy? No. Listen, but whereas Fred Durst,
that's what Prison Sex sounds like to me. I don't know.
Yeah, pretty much.
What Fred Durst rapped about, fake ass titties on a fucked up chest and all this stuff, he was pretty much he was surface level.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. He was surface, and Maynard pretty much was saying the same shit, but just on a deeper, more intellectual level. See?
I don't think he was, but like when I think he did the thing where, hey, let's have an edgy title, let's have hooker with a penis, but it's not about a transvestite, right?
Well, no, maybe not that one, but you know,
not
like
that one. Yeah.
But basic, so like Fred Durst, like let's say if Limp Bizkit did, what's that song called?
Bridge Under Troubled Water. No, I'm kidding. Bridge Under Troubled Water.
What's the name of their second album? The title track from that?
Undertow.
Enema.
Okay.
Enema or whatever. If Limp Bizkit did that, it would literally be fuck this city, fuck LA, fuck California, just straight ahead. But Maynard pretty much says the same thing, but just in a much more poetic way. So people think it's much deeper than it is, but it's really just a song about how much he hates California.
That's his angriest song. That one's one's pretty surface level. Learn to Swim, you know, it basically says it. By the way, greatest Tool song of all time, it's not even up for dispute, is H. I love H. I think it's kind of underrated.
H is great. Yeah.
H is amazing. And Tool is one of those bands where, God, I hate their fans. The last thing I want to do, the last thing I want to do is go to a Tool concert these days. Not because they also fucking bore me. They think they're like fucking the Grateful Dead or Fish up there, just going on and on. Like, we're gonna play the entire new album. Great.
See, that's what I kind of like about Tool. Like, I never really think of like Tool in terms of like their songs being like, oh, what a great song. Like their whole albums kind of have it. Like I'm a big fan of like concept albums and cinematic feeling music. And Tool, like if you listen to, you know, Lateralis, like from start to, like if I listen to anything from Lateralis, I got to start it from the beginning of the album and just go all the way to the end, and just to feel like I just went on the full journey. It's kind of like Pink Floyd or something for me. Like if I start Dark Side of the Moon, it's like I got to listen to the whole thing, you know.
Yeah, I'm a 70s prog guy, so I'm right there with you. And I think Lateralis, dude. I don't fucking know how to say. I've always said I said lateralis when it first came out, and then Pat put me in my fucking place. He's like, it's lateralis. I'm like, okay, lateralis, and I've been saying it for 25
It's
years.
your last good album.
Well, it's funny. I was backwards. Like when it first came out, I used to call it Lateralis, and then I had a Tool fan correct me. Like my buddy Opie, we called him Opie. He was our bass player in a band back in the day. He was a huge Tool fan. He's like, dude, it's Lateralis. I'm like, oh, okay, sorry. So from that point on,
yeah, you had your Pat, but the inverse Pat, and and then but then there's the Enema thing. Enema's the song, Enema's the album. It's like, what the fuck is it? Who knows? Nobody ever, even when I said Enema, you said Enema or whatever. Everybody does that. Everybody does the or whatever because we don't really know, but it's so stupid. So yeah, Lateralis is their best album. I think it's a fucking masterpiece.
I agree.
But that's where they peaked, and then
Fear Inoculum was not good. I didn't like him.
You guys all loved it, dude. I was fucking.
I didn't like it, dude. What are you talking about?
You and Pat and everybody was like, "Oh
no, I like 10,000 Days better than Fear Inoculum, dude."
I wasn't a big fan of it either.
If you
by the time that album had come out, I was already more interested in what he was doing with Pussifer. Like I was a huge fan of like what he was doing with Pussifer as opposed to. Then when he came back to Tool, it was like, it felt a little uninspired to me. Whereas Pussifer would, was like.
I like Perfect Circle. I didn't like.
Isn't Pussifer just like? Isn't Pussifer just alternative hee haw? I mean, where it's like
no, they have that song "Country Boner," which is basically alternative hee haw. But the albums itself are more like experimental. There's a little more electronic techno aspect to it, but it's also it's got that edge to it. Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. So they're kind of this band. I'm ashamed to. Yeah, like didn't they? It wasn't like part skit comedy and part music, and
there was definitely aspects of that because their album where it has
vagina or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, it has that Maynard sense of humor to it. We're just running through it completely, but that's the thing is like a lot of their albums, a lot of the songs sounded different. Like it was more of an experimental thing for him as opposed to Tool, which has to fall into this box, this category of Tool. You couldn't do Country Boner on a Tool album, basically.
For those in the back of the chat, did we lose you at hee haw? Anybody know what that is? Like that's kind of a deep cut. I don't know. I'll move off this topic here in a second. We're getting a lot of comments about it.
We're only 30 minutes in, guys.
Look,
let's keep talking about it.
All I was saying is Tool, though, even if no matter how insufferable like they become for me, they made Anima and Lateralis. I mean, and Undertow's cool too, but like they had those two like they don't have to really do anything good anymore. But I'm not gonna be one of these guys that pretends like, no, I'm not gonna listen to Chocolate Chip Trip. Is fucking like 12-minute drum fucking bongo session and think it's good. It's a little self-indulgent. I love prog rock, but there is a fine line to walk.
Well, the question is, do you do drugs?
I don't.
Okay, then you probably wouldn't get that aspect of Tool.
But that's when it's really good where you don't have to take drugs to enjoy it.
Right.
I like I said, I love it's a fine line. I love progressive rock. I like King Crimson records, which that's a lot, but it's just Tool just goes too far. But you know what? Same thing with Radiohead, dude. Radiohead is fucking insufferable. They have their fans
dude,
are
I can't stand Radiohead.
I've
never gotten it.
Their fans are as bad as Tool fans, but even I cannot deny that they have two great records. The Benz and OK Computer. They're amazing. They're amazing records. And then after that, they got all up in their own ass. And kind of like OK Computer is kind of their Lateralis, where it's like, okay, we've kind of evolved into what we are. Like we're kind of experimental. There's a bit of a concept going on there. Whereas the Benz is a batch of really good fucking songs. And then they get into like Kid A and fucking In Rain. It's like, what is this shit? It's just, yeah.
Yeah, Radiohead, like I have some friends who are into Radiohead and they've tried to explain it to me. I've tried to, like, as you get older and your life changes and your tastes change and you're more open to certain things that maybe you weren't open to years before. I've tried to give them a chance throughout the years, and every time I'm just like, I don't get it. Like, I don't get like Radiohead is like that. What's the other band that kind of falls into that category for me? But I don't know. There's like a couple of bands like that. Just people are just like
people love Mike Patton. Yeah. They worship Mike Patton, and I Faith No More is great. I draw the line at some of his side projects because they get a little out there, and that's
The
great.
first Tomahawk album I liked a lot. I thought that was pretty cool when that came out. It was probably 25 years ago now, but
Yeah, a long
outside
time
of
ago.
that, I'm kind of with you on that too.
They opened for Tool on the Lateralus tour with that first Tomahawk record. I always thought Tom York should have started a band with Forrest Whitaker and Tiny Lister Jr. and they could have called themselves the Lazy Eyes. You know,
what instrument is Forrest Whitaker playing, dude?
he just looks at you.
Gotta be bass.
Just keep the camera on him so it's on the jumbotron. That's all I want. Is all three of their eyes are on the jumbotron at the same time. All right, so let's kind of get through.
Let's move on.
You guys are talking a lot about new metal. We sparked something with you guys. I didn't know we had so many incels. I'm just kidding. We're all incels here.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know anybody that really talks about this shit anymore. So
really? Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
man. I can sit here and talk about this for hours. Like,
Nookie and Break Stuff are the best song. They're guilty pleasure. Dude, Break Stuff is the new metal anthem. It's the new metal anthem. So much so that Limp Bizkit lately on the last tour, they were opening with it and closing with it. They played it fucking twice.
I love it. I need to
that I don't need to hear it twice. I'd be a little upset at that.
I
would.
Dude, the Woodstock performance of that though, I'll still go back and I'll watch that on YouTube and just get chills when the build up and he's like, break your fucking, and it's like the crowd just like,
dude,
is in the Corn Blind.
Yeah,
the Corn Blind song was even better.
Yes.
I mean, that was probably one of the best.
Because it was like a giant wave.
Let me ask you, because we're talking about it's like
songs out there.
Let me ask you guys, because I went through a period, I don't know, a couple of years ago where I went back and like revisited all of Woodstock 99 because that documentary had come out and they were pretty harsh on it, and I was like,
there's two of them. I hope you watch both of them.
I don't remember which one I watched, but it was like the one that everybody was talking about at the time. So and they were pretty harsh on it. They're like, oh, it was a period where the music was awful, and people were angry white people type of thing. And I was like, I mean, it was just like I don't remember it that way. Like I remember like it didn't go well. We'll just say that. And there was definitely some awful shit that took place at that show. But I mean, if you look at it, it's like the peak of, it's like it's right before the internet completely took over. And everybody but it was just like the peak of just like 90s insanity, the angry, like, from what grunge started all the way through what Woodstock 99 was, like that was like the peak of that. And then I think after that, they just completely shut it all down, and they were just like, and then the internet shows up and we all get segmented off. And I just don't think you'll ever see like a festival or anything, like, for good or bad. I mean, a lot of bad shit did take place at that concert, but it was just like, you see, like you mentioned the Corn Blind when they start that, and the whole crowd, there's not a cell phone. Nobody's holding their fucking cell phones up or anything. It's like, you go to Bonnaroo or Lollapalooza or something now, and it's just like a bunch of people holding cell phones, or they're drugged out and dancing like they're at a fucking Fish concert or something. But back then it was like, there was one giant organism of people all feeling this moment together. And then, but it's just like, I don't know. Was that like the peak of humanity before the computer took over our brains and 9/11 happened, and then everything
it was not only that, it was a huge pay-per-view event too. So we got it on pay-per-view. I know Aaron did too. His dad, didn't you?
My dad bought a whole bunch of JVC fucking blank tapes. And he put me to task because we had to work all weekend, and I was recording it. Well, he gave me a list of the bands that I mandatory had to record, and I've just spent the whole weekend with a lot of joy. I was my pleasure to do so, to just record all the shit and label the tapes, and so he could watch all the recaps. And what a great weekend. Great fond memories of that, because I got to see lots of titties, dude. But it was the last time that rock music was, I mean, rock music's not dead, I know people say it, but it was the last time that it was competitive as the biggest genre, along with pop and like
part hip-hop. And it was like, it was right there with like hip hop. Like they were all, because I mean, Woodstock had a bunch of hip hop artists play. Like even DMX played. I forget, but it was like a really cool mix of like all this different music and stuff. And now it's like, dude, Bonnaroo is cool and all that now, but it's just you don't see anything. It's so corporate now, and I think that's the thing that Woodstock 99, like that's the thing that triggered all that, the fires and the arson and all the shit that happened was corporate America had taken over this entity called Woodstock and was charging out the ass for water. Like there wasn't enough places to shower, and it was just like this big clusterfuck that people just
running
rebelled against.
People rolling in their shit thinking it's mud.
Right?
Fucking,
Yeah,
it's
yeah. It was
They-
awful.
Growing
But-
up, we would have killed to be at that show. I mean, you had James Brown, you had DMX, you had Korn, you had Offspring. I mean, you had like everybody, dude, like random fucking people.
I guarantee you nobody gave a fuck about James Brown being there. They were obviously trying to keep some kind of like old guard connected or whatever.
Yeah, they had Willie Nelson, I think, played at that too, which
Yeah.
it was pretty
Yeah.
cool. I mean, he was on like one of the side stages, but it was pretty cool to see like that generation of like, you know, the same guys that were listening to Korn and whatnot were like, we're kind of jamming out to some of the old, like, you know, On the Road Again, you know, and it was, they still had a little bit of that to it. But
here you go, Aaron. So Saturday night on the East Stage, you had Kid Rock, Wyclef Jean, Counting Crows, Dave Matthews Band, Alanis Morissette, Limp Bizkit, Rage Against the Machine, and Metallica.
Yeah, I remember
the East Stage.
I remember it. Yeah, they Metallica headline. I think Korn headline like Friday. I think Metallica headline Saturday, and Red Hot Chili Peppers headline Sunday. Because Korn was the biggest fucking thing at the time. They were like the big, and like the biggest pop stars in 1999 and 2000 were Fred Durst, Christina Aguilera, and like these people were blended. It's crazy, and they were Korn was just as big as Backstreet Boys, but yet it still wasn't like it wasn't the popularity that put you off. They were tastemakers. It's like, oh, we're the Korn kids, we're the fucking boy band kids, and we're the Rough Rider crew or whatever.
We're the ICP kids, yeah.
But
it was competitive, but it never felt like either. Because I remember being in school and like I was like, oh, I like, you know, Korn and all that, and then like you had the prep kids that were just like, yeah, NSYNC, Backstreet Boys, but we were competitive, but it wasn't like anybody was punching down. It was more like an evil battle, like an even playing field. And you brought up Backstreet, but didn't they bring out like blow up dolls of the Backstreet Boys at Woodstock to fucking, you know?
I don't know how to break down this comment. Polar Nights, like, is this an insult or a compliment?
I love it, dude.
I don't know what the fuck it means.
Dude, I just had a baby, so I've shaving has gone out the window.
Oh, literally.
He's a barber. Yeah.
Oh, literally. Oh, I got it.
Well, you want me to take my shirt off? You can see how hairy I am. I mean, my
really
face is patchy, but
nipple hairs.
My hair, chest is hairy.
That's so funny. I just shaved. Well, at first I didn't know if he was saying we were boring him, but yeah, I get it. Like, yeah, we're like the Brady Bunch up here.
Yeah,
I just shaved, and my kid was pulling my beard, dude. She was like, I knew it, so I had to get rid of it. But what was I gonna say? I was gonna say, yeah, it's a weird moment. I feel like the world left Fred Durst behind in the mainstream sense, because when you watch that Woodstock 99 performance, it's a moment, because side stage you see everybody watching Limp Bizkit set. Dr. Dre didn't even perform, but Dre's back there. He was there. He didn't play, but you see all these who's who that I can't help but feel these people wouldn't have touched Fred Durst with a 10-foot pole just 3 years later.
Oh yeah.
But they were all listening, dude. The moment that nobody ever talks about, nobody ever thinks about, but the moment where to me it hit its peak is when Limp Bizkit got that Mission Impossible soundtrack and they did the Mission Impossible theme,
which is a great song. One of their
okay.
Take a look around.
Anyway, but I remember Access Hollywood. Access Hollywood was interviewing Tom Cruise for Mission Impossible 2, and then they surprised him with Fred Durst was the guy interviewing for Access Hollywood, and he comes out and it's so cringe. Cruise goes and gets up and goes, "Oh, what's up, Durst?" And they give each other a big high five. Oh, and they're like fucking like interviewing each other. I'm like, fucking Fred Durst interviewing Tom Cruise.
Oh, I'd love to watch that, dude. That's awesome.
I've always thought, did he lose your number in 2 more years? Like, did you still know Tom Cruise after that? It's wild to me. But you guys should find that clip sometime, dude. It's really funny. What's up, Durst? Oh,
what's up, Durst?
Fucking the meeting of the fucking minds. The dicks are touching and the world's gonna blow up. It's Tom Cruise. Those are Todd's 2 favorite people in the world, by the way.
Yes,
Tom Cruise and Fred Durst. All right,
absolutely.
That's the sandwich he wants to be in right there.
Yes,
he wouldn't say no.
Well, who wouldn't want to be the meat?
Extra mayo. Yeah,
dude. I have seen the Fred Durst sex tape, by the way. It's hilarious. Where he's recording it, like he's like doing it doggy, and he's just like recording himself, and it's not impressive, by the way. The guy,
I never got that vibe. I never got that vibe from him.
Yeah. Anyway, but there's a moment. Most of that shit leaks, but there's a moment where he's like doing it, and he turns it around on himself, and he goes right in the camera, like he's like.
Maybe that should be a members only commentary.
I think he purposely. Well, Zach and I did it one time, but anyway. He leaked it on purpose. Like, he fucking leaked it on purpose. I don't know. Todd, did you fucking blow and take that however you want when with the Kid Rock Scott Stapp sex tape?
No, I never saw those.
Okay.
I stay away from those.
Okay. All right, so I will get through these comments really fast.
Yeah.
Speed round. I like the energetic rawness of $3 Bill and Significant Other. It's probably their best album. Okay. Some film
Weapons,
talk.
Satan.
I just saw Weapons a couple nights ago. I'm late.
We'll get into that.
Yeah. Let's see. Deftones are my favorite new metal band. They're one of those bands that kind of like transcended and can't even call them new metal anymore. I don't think really ever could, but they just got lumped in. The thing about new metal is all the biggest bands in the genre really sounded nothing like anybody. And, you know, the Flaws and all these other bands that were the hanger-oners, they were sounding like one of the branches of the tree. They weren't unique. Deftones.
It was like grunge. Like everything just fell under the umbrella of grunge in the early 90s after a while.
Nirvana and Alice and Soundgarden and Pearl Jam, they really didn't sound the same at all.
Completely different. Yeah.
You know, there's probably some kind of through line because of where they came from, but it just really different. But then you had a lot of the bands that sounded like Nirvana that tried to sound like Pearl Jam, you know, Candlebox, like
Candlebox, yeah.
These are the ones,
those type of bands. Yeah,
Days of the New.
These are the ones you can't really take. Days of the New. They were post grunge. Yeah, they were like the acoustic.
They were like acousticcore. That's what we used to call acousticcore.
Look, that album is not very good, but those singles are great, dude. The touch peel stand or whatever, the shelf in the room. I think
they had a couple good songs on both their albums.
The Enemy was.
But they had that Eddie Vedder butt rock vocal sound going.
Won't you touch me? Why don't let it go? They were catchy though. And then you had like, God, let's not even speak a Puddle of Mud. They were like that second generation.
Yeah, I couldn't get into
that guy. I love that cover he did of About a Girl or whatever, the Nirvana song.
Oh yeah. Oh wow.
God, that guy's. I feel bad.
That dude's a mess these days.
Not a big fan of Limp Fred as Dick. Boy, read card good. What is that Homer Simpson thing he said? I don't know. Well, we probably bored you to hell, Satan.
Sorry, Satan.
It's a good thing you're working. System of a Down, my favorite new metal band. Again,
they're great.
They sound nothing. They sound nothing like those other bands. Like they sound like them. Yeah. System is number 2. Slipknot number 3. I mean, I think today, I guess Slipknot's probably the best one for me.
Slipknot's the best, yeah.
Because their first few records are so good. Hello, Aaron Todd. What's up, Robert? How you doing,
hey,
brother?
Robert.
I don't fancy you as like a Limp Bizkit fan. You said Alice in Chains was your favorite rock band, so you're probably not a Bizkit.
Yeah, he's an Alice in Chains guy.
And that's me too. Dude, I go back a little more than that, but I got bit by the fucking Korn Limp Bizkit bug. I can't lie.
Well, Korn was like my whole introduction into like heavy music, really, when I was younger. Like when I first heard Freak on a Leash and I saw that video when I was a kid, because at that point I was 8 or something like that. So I was watching TRL every day for the Backstreet Boys and Spice Girls and shit like that. And then all of a sudden I see this band Korn in this video where this bullets flying through everything. And I'm just like, what is this? Like, is this music? What is this? And then it's like just sent me down the fucking path. So yeah, Korn to me was like my introduction to most every band or bit of music that I've ever been into since. So
people really cared about music videos back then too, because that's a great video.
Yeah,
really cool.
Fantastic.
But everything was like, it was like on par with the boy bands and everything else. You had to keep up. Make Me Bad, like they all told the story. I mean, Make Me Bad could have been a fucking DMX video or whatever with the production. It could have been anything. But yeah.
That's when like the music videos had like $1 million budgets, and they were actually the biggest piece of advertisement for an album coming out was the music video. Like this music video's got to get airplay on MTV. It's got to be on TRL or something, which a lot of that, like you said, they were so mixed together. It'd be like you'd watch TRL and be like Christina Aguilera would be number 4, and then number 3 here's Limp Bizkit, and then number 2 is Eminem, and then number 1 for the 3rd week in a row is Backstreet Boys or whatever. And you're just
the top couple of spots were dominated by Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, but Korn was in there too, or Limp Bizkit. It's like they were the big ones. And Take Me Back. I mean, I wish I
Which R.I.P. MTV. They just shut
They did?
MTV down at the end of last year. So yeah, all MTV's over.
Was that the U.S. branch though, or was that like
crazy?
Was that just U.S.?
I don't know specifically, but I just saw the other day that everybody's talking about R.I.P. MTV and all the music channels are now gone. So MTV's done.
I feel like they ran with that headline, but it was just like another territory, wasn't us. And and it was confusing a lot of people.
Well, I haven't watched it in years, so I couldn't.
We wouldn't
know either. But that's crazy, though. I mean, that's like wow.
Okay. Yeah, no. So yeah, everybody was running with that fucking headline for clicks, but they shut down their dedicated 24/7 international stuff like MTV Music 80s, 90s, like all the bullshit tentacle stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. So they were clearly just baiting people with that fucking headline.
But that's really, I mean, that's basically the only music that MTV played were those like secondary channels like MTV Classic and all that, like.
Which you have those a lot on like the free stations, which I still watch those like music video blocks and stuff on like MTV or Vivo or whatever the hell they do now. And I still watch music videos. My favorite music video to this day, it got me into rock music, was Soundgarden Black Hole Sun. I still love that music video.
Dude, yeah, like I remember being a kid seeing that and it freaked me the fuck out. Like when that girl's like barbecuing the Barbie, like seeing that as a child, like why is that girl burning her toys? Like
it's
fucked me up when I was a kid. Yeah, man. I didn't know what the hell I was looking at.
A video kind of reminded me of that. Like they were trying to like capture some of that energy. It was the Sour Girl, the STP with the fucking Teletubbies.
I don't remember that one.
Oh, it was all over MTV. Like
really?
It's got
Sarah Michelle
Down
Gellar album.
No, number 4.
4, yeah, the Down.
Yeah, I know the song. I don't remember watching the music video.
It's like he's with these fucking twisted Teletubbies, and it's got a lot of the high contrast colors, like in the Black Hole Sun video. And he's like in a field, and it's got Sarah Michelle Gellar for some reason and makeup.
No shit.
That was the album they did when they got tired of everybody telling them that they sounded like everybody else, and they were like, "Well, we'll do something different,"
Well,
it's like the Butthole Surfers. I remember speaking of MTV on Headbangers Ball back in the day. Butthole Surfers were on there. And they were like, "Oh, coming up next is a video from Stone Temple Pilots. Yeah, they're a pretty cool band. You know who they remind me of?" And the dude was just like, "Who don't they remind me of?"
Yeah, well, the first album was the grunge wave because he sang like Vedder. It's
such a great album. The core is awesome.
It is, dude. It's front to back.
Great music. Yeah, I've always been a Stone Temple Pilots fan, but that was the thing that stuck to them back in the day when they first came out, was that they were just ripping off every other band. Yeah, they had to sound like every other band. And so Scott Weiland was like, "Fuck this!" And on the fourth album, that's when they, Down and Sour Girl, and it was completely different.
It's not even the fourth album. The second album, Purple, they sounded different. They ditched that. They ditched that whole fucking grunt. He wasn't even singing like Eddie Vedder anymore. Yeah. No, it was alternative, but they were starting to introduce the fucking Beatles and Rolling Stones and very 70s influences, psychedelic. And then they really went far with that in Tiny Music, songs from the Vatican Gift Shop. Oh, sure. That one's really like lack of so it might still sound like other bands, but they ditched that fucking grunge thing.
I don't remember a lot from Tiny Music. I remember like the
I don't either.
Tripping on a Hole in a Paper Heart is super great. Lady Picture Show is really great. Listen to those songs. They don't sound anything like that first album. That first album is I Am Smelling Like a Rose on a butt. It's just a little but they're great. They're great. Purple is a great fucking record, front to back. Like it's just really great. Interstate Love Song is off Purple, The Big Empty and Vaseline, and that.
Yeah, I have that vinyl. Yeah, it's a great album, man.
But number 4, Sour Girl is kind of a weird, trippy, like kind of psychedelic-y song. But Down is, I don't know. It sounds like more STP to me. But it's not a great record.
I just felt like he changed the way he vocalized on 4 more. So he wasn't doing as much of the her. It was more.
But I'm telling you, I agree. But I'm telling you, he kind of ditched that with Purple for the most part. It's that first album. He's doing nothing but the Yarl.
Mm-hmm.
It's all there.
It's really bad on that first album.
And then in the third album, Songs in the Vatican Gift Shop, it's super nasally. He's trying to do like a David Bowie fucking thing. I mean, I think he's they started doing like a Bowie thing. And he probably was. He's like dancing like Mick Jagger, and he's starting to wear makeup like Bowie, and he thinks he's that guy. And but in the first record, he had like bleached blonde hair and a goatee, kind of like a tough guy. And it's just like, I don't know. Somebody got into his ear and said, "Hey, change your image." But I don't like to brag. I don't like to boast, but I like hot butter on my breakfast toast. Is that David Capper's theme song for us that we had to retire. Yeah, I miss that theme song. We should bring it back sometime. A great new battle band's Taproot. They were one of those bands. They got like a little buzz and they disappeared. Like
I vaguely
Reveille,
remember Taproot.
Reveille, Trust Company. These bands went away. Their bass player had my last name, Phil Lipscomb, and I thought that was weird because I never met another Lipscomb, and I'm like, why do you have to be in a band that sucks?
I see him everywhere.
Yeah, I remember Taproot bought the CD at Hot Topic. I love them. They should have been huge. So when are we getting Zach out of his hiding hole to come back on? I don't know. He's definitely in what's it called? Hibernation. I think Acid Bath should have been huge, only made 2 out, but they're back. Acid Bath has been back for the past year, doing that reunion thing and headlining. Like they never were a headliner. That's all you have to do is go away for 20 years, 25 years.
Yeah, they're like the Pixies.
Yep, and then come back and everybody suddenly loves you. But
I like Kite String Pop. That's a great album, though, man.
My favorite is Fear Factory, the first Korn album, and Deftones. I love Fear Factory. I think, and they're kind of like a I said we get off this topic. What am I doing? They were like that middle tier, right? They had a couple of gold records. They didn't reach like multi-platinum, but dude, fucking the first album is great, but I mean Demanufacturers is a classic and Obsolete is awesome. They're great records. And yeah,
I always dug Fear Factory.
I think Fear Factory they're responsible for a lot of what became popular later, and they get no credit because they really back in like the emo core stuff that came like a decade later. The whole let's scream during the verse and then sing a poppy chorus, dude. Fear Factory was doing that before anybody was, because like it was like the guttural stuff in the verse, and then you'd have Burton C. Bell singing a chorus, and nobody was doing that. And then I think we mentioned Machine Head, Rob Flynn, his entire like grunting, it sounds like Burton Bell. And
that's what I was going to say. That Machine Head kind of mimicked a lot of what Fear
he
Factory
did it,
was doing,
and he would do the singing thing in the chorus. And one time he actually acknowledged it, and I thought that was cool. I don't really like Machine Head, but he acknowledged it. He's like, guys, the Machine Head was doing this before everybody else. I'm like, fuck it, we got that from them, so they deserve a shout out. Good evening, gentlemen. What's up, Pop Coronary?
That's a great name.
That's James. What's up, James? How's it going, brother?
Who, Pop Coronary?
Yeah, James.
What's up, dude? Kid Cock, Joe C. Was he 3'9" with a 10-foot dick? Is that what he said? I don't know. My mom Kid Rock puts on a good show. Cringe. Mom, you know what's funny is you are the demo now for Kid Rock. Isn't that funny?
Hey,
how
Mama.
it's flipped?
Oh yeah.
It flipped, and he's a genius because he found a whole new audience. Like, hey, I'm kind of like the new metal thing went away, and I'm gonna go for the conservative older crowd.
I hope you had a good Christmas, Denise.
My mom had a great Christmas.
Okay,
she thought it was the best Christmas ever.
Awesome.
Blue Eyes. What, Behind Blue Eyes?
Yeah.
That single that they just pretty much did the Who song, except they had the LIMP. That fucking that guy in the sampler.
Speak and spell, dude. It's awesome.
Oh, Fred Durst made out with Halle Berry, who was peaking as a star. She won the Oscar. He's in the video for that it's for that Gothica movie, not good. And she's in the video and she makes out with Fred Durst. I often think, wow, they were pretty much dead by the time that album came out. I wonder if she was regretting putting her tongue in his mouth. Like, oh God, I don't want to be associated with that guy.
He got more ass in a toilet seat, man.
Actually, Kid Rock started as a rapper. Yeah, his early Detroit stuff. I mean, he featured on ICP Records. I know it's terrible. I went to the first Family Values tour in '98. Rammstein was the opener. Love Rammstein. Cool. I love Rammstein still, man. I think
I'd love to see them. I would have loved to see them in concert, man.
I've seen them a couple times. They're really, really great, and I can't wait for 2026. They should be releasing the 25th anniversary box set of the Mutter album. I think it's a seminal record. Love it. And Rammstein is one of those fringe bands, dude, because they kind of like broke stateside and they were kind of getting sold to us, and they were getting thrown in touring packages with these new metal bands. But it's like they're more akin to like your Ministries kinda, and they don't really sound like anything, but they were getting pushed at a time where bands like them shouldn't have been getting pushed.
Well,
But they're
Rammstein was like one of those bands that I remember listening to for the first time. And the first time that I was listening to it in the car with my dad, like I was probably, 11, 12, 13 years old. And my dad heard it, and his first reaction was, "What is this like devil worship music? Because it's German, it sounds
Nazis.
evil, it's dog, 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 And but like as we were listening to it, my dad was like, "Actually, I kind of like this." So
Dude,
my dad kind of got turned on to Rammstein.
They were blending like obviously just like barbaric fucking metal riffs, very just like
Yeah.
meat and potatoes power, which is great, mixed with 90s house music, the very
Yeah.
Euro thing. And it fucking was awesome. And then just absurdly stupid lyrics in English if you translate them. Like Book Deek is banned over, talking about fucking you in the ass. It's just so stupid.
They're like Tool.
It's so like
Yes.
try and translate the lyrics. They're so fucking stupid, but it doesn't matter. And Till has no range, but you can't imagine anybody else singing for that band. And to me, it sounds like he's kind of like always off key, but it's the Rammstein sound. Him just crooning the way he does, and their live show is amazing. Obviously, they had the Hair's Light album. That was the first one. It's a solid record. The second one with the Du Hast, the Sensuet, or however you say it, fucking a masterpiece. And then Mutter is the album. That's where they like, wah. And then if you guys listen to Rise Rise after that had America on it. Mind Tile. Sonically, that album blew me away. I put aftermarket speakers and sound system in my car at the time, and that was the fucking CD I had out. And that was out. I was probably like 18 years old. It fucking blew me away. And it still to this day sounds so good. I don't think it's quite as good as Mutter, but it sounds fucking. I wish every record would sound like Rise Rise. It sounds so.
Well, it's
fucking
funny. Like one of the most random occurrences of somebody bringing up Rammstein and talking about their music was JD Vance was on the Tim Dillon show, and all of a sudden he brings up Rammstein. They have this conversation about Rammstein. I'm just like, well, this is maybe the first time in history that a major political figure is on a national show talking about Rammstein. I'm just like, okay, all right, well, this is very weird, but all right.
I saw that too. The great thing about those barbaric riffs is how simple they are, because it allows for such dynamics that like I said, that Rise Rise record, it opens very soft with the keyboards, and you got Till kind of crooning. It's kind of got like that AM radio kind of filter to it. And then when the drums come in, they're so powerful, and the fucking riff, just open power chord. It's so loud. And then when that track ends and it goes right into Mind Tile, it's just simple. It's so fucking in your face. And then it comes down in the verses. I don't know. It's great. I wish they could all sound like that.
Let's keep it rolling.
Fuck you. I'm driving this fucking train, bro. This is all good shit. Let's see here. Actually, yeah, okay, hold on. Fade and price to pay for Stand. We're done with Stand. We've moved past.
I love Stand.
We left that stop. Yeah. Believe by Disturbed is phenomenal.
First two Disturbed were great. Yeah, dude,
I actually own Believe by Disturbed, and that's by fucking happenstance. Sometimes there's like a glitch when you order like from big retailers like Amazon, where like I kept trying to order a Danzig record, and they kept sending me every record but a they sent me Believe by Disturbed, and it was just a point where they kept telling me to keep these records. So I have Believe by Disturbed. I don't think that's a good record.
You needed 10,000 fists.
I can understand. I'm gonna stick 10,000 fists up your ass, Todd. No, I can admit the appeal to that first Disturbed record, because when I listen to it sonically, it's good, and it's got like I'm a sucker for that kind of techno. They had a little bit of that balance going on with the stuff. I get it, and they had hooks. I get it, dude. That fucking Believe record was the worst sophomore slump. I'm surprised they survived it. It had a couple of radio hits. It was good, but the record, it's like a limp dick. It's fucking bad. It's like it doesn't. I don't know. I think it sucks.
I don't remember that one as much.
It just, I'm surprised they survived it. Then they came out with 10,000 Fists and that one, and I've heard that.
Great.
My dad listened to that shit. That one sounded more like Disturbed to me. Like, okay, they at least are back on track with what they do. But that second one, glad they pulled through. Sound of Silence.
Great cover.
Would they do that? They did that as well with Tears for Fears in the first record. They did it too.
Yeah,
that wasn't their breakthrough though, to be fair. Say Sound by Disturbed's great. Enough of Disturbed, guys. We're over it. I'm over it. What's
Hey,
up, Sarah?
What's up, Sarah?
Animosity, that's Seven Dust. Ascendancy, that's Trivium. I know all this shit. You don't even have to tell me the bands. Update me. No.
Mutineers, like,
Nice.
what the fuck are they talking about?
Nice to meet you. We were talking about fucking new metal for an
Good
hour.
to see you, Mutineer. Sorry,
Okay.
brother.
We're gonna talk about 2026. Mutineer, they're talking about like they're descending into fucking incel madness. That's what we're doing. Love Depeche Mode, one of my favorite concerts. I like Depeche Mode.
Yeah.
Dope did a cover of Spin Me Round. I'm not surprised.
Mm-hmm.
It was, I think it was harder to find a fucking 80s fucking pop cover that hadn't been grabbed up by those fucking shitty bands at the time.
But nothing compares to Orgy Blue Monday. Like that.
Oh,
they
that's
took
a great
that song
great,
and made
dude.
it
I
their
love
own,
it, man.
Yeah, it was great. Even their
Yeah.
like follow-up single, but they did it too. Blue Monday was their debut single. Like we gotta get their foot in the door somehow. And then that Stitches single was actually pretty good too. And then they dropped off. Dope. Spin Me Round. I'm surprised. We were about to start pulling from like the fucking autographs, turn up the radio. It was just so fucking stupid. Dope also, they're known for that song. Die, motherfucker, die, motherfucker, die, motherfucker, die.
Yeah.
Like it's so they just took Edge to a new level, dude.
All right, yeah, we're losing Mutineer. He's crashing out, dude. So we got to keep rolling.
All right, fuck off, everybody. You're all getting a fist in the ass from Todd. Okay, we're gonna get through it. Hey, John, how's it going? Mutineer, we're gonna get on topic here. How y'all doing tonight? Yeah, I'll catch the replay when I get home. Have a great. Well, no, Satan's at work. Yeah, drive
he's
safe,
at work.
Satan.
Yeah,
drive safe. Robert, I like POD. Haven't heard them in years though. You guys are fucking losing me. Soulfly was good. Sepultura guy.
Yeah,
I love you. Great. You're good by me. I'm just gonna get through these to make Ton happy. Pantera did the music.
I don't want to lose people. Come on.
We do look like we could start a new metal band at this point. Like,
yeah, exactly.
I kind of got like I got the I don't know.
Yeah,
you got the look going.
We all could be the front man. Yeah. It doesn't matter. Pantera did the music for the SpongeBob episode. Well, that pre-hibernation track they gave him was just death rattle off the Reinventing the Steel album with no vocals. So there's a factoid for you. Yeah, Nickelback joke, Cemetery Gates, blah, 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 blah. Where'd you go to Nickelback joke? God dang, there's a lot of people. Radiohead equals head. Mendoza, I don't expect any less.
See Mendoza.
God dang, sorry guys. Todd's convinced you guys don't like this talk, but there's a lot of comments I can't get through. I'm skipping.
I don't know.
I'm good, broski. Just putting together some 40K figures.
Oh yeah, okay.
Good eyes, go to bed. Sorry I got you down the new metal rabbit hole. It is your fault. And later, John. All right, so we're done. We're caught up. I sped through. I skipped some. Lost Highway was the first time I heard Rammstein. I love Lost Highway. That's a good segue into movies because I think Lost Highway is my favorite David Lynch film. That's Somebody We Lost in 2025. Woo! How about that segue?
R.I.P.
Was it really in 2025? It feels like it was longer.
I'm pretty sure we lost him in 2025. I'm pretty.
I think you're right, but I kind of thought it was longer ago.
We lost a lot of people in 2025, and I feel like I don't know. I feel like 2025 was the year where everybody jumped on the Lynch bandwagon, as happens like when people die, especially like in the filmmaker circles. People already kind of swing on his dick, but just I saw so many fucking Lynch memes and fucking videos and reels, everybody sharing. But for him, it's cool because it's like he deserved it, and he was such a weird auteur, and he played by his own rules. And I personally love the memes and the reels that get sent for him. They're just classic. I mean, the guy might have been on the spectrum, but that's probably what his brilliance was because he was just fucking out there.
Mm-hmm.
Most geniuses like that are, I'm convinced, like they're like, you don't to have the balls to do what he did without any without compromising and just putting it out there the way he did. Like, yeah, you kind of got to have that mentality where you don't register with the rest of the world. Basically, like you're just in your own plane,
kind of like so I've been working a job. James will know this. He's in the chat. A guy who worked with our buddy Ryan, who's a huge Kanye West fan, and Kanye West is definitely in his own world, but he's like trying to warm me up to his music. And I've been listening to some of his music, and I enjoy some of his music, man.
Here's the thing. He's one of those guys. Yeah, he's one of those guys, and they toe a fine line.
Yeah. They're crazy nuts, but they're very talented.
So that first few Conway records, that Conway Twitty, that Kanye, that first.
All right, I'm here to talk about the first 2 Conway records. Let's go. Hello, darling.
I fucking love you some Conway Twitty. Fuck. All right. Anyway, that trilogy, right? The College Dropout, all
yeah.
That's like the crowd pleasing shit. That's what he came out with, and that's what got everybody in through the door. And that shit is very catchy.
Yeah,
I mean, all that stuff is just loaded with jams that I'm not even a hip hop guy, but when I like hip hop stuff, that's got appeal.
Mm-hmm.
And he started pushing it a little bit. It's like, okay, well, now I'm a big genius. I'm going to start pushing it. And he did then he had, what was the one with Stronger on it where he was just what's the fucking record? I can't think of it.
I don't know, but he's trying to put me on Jesus King or whatever. And that record, he's like,
no.
Your grandma will love it. I'm like, this record stinks, dude.
Yeah, it fucking sucks, dude. But here, I'm going to actually pull up his shit so I get my shit right.
Was it Graduation Day or
Graduation is just
Graduation was one of the 3, I think.
Yeah, hold on. So I got it right here. So it started with College Dropout,
which is good.
And then Late Registration and Graduation.
Yeah.
That's the trilogy.
Yeah.
And even with Graduation, it's he was doing things with samples that other people weren't doing. But then when the trilogy was done, he did 808s and Heartbreak, which that one's got Heartless and Love Lockdown. This album, he ditched the rapping.
Yeah,
there's no fucking rapping. He's singing in auto-tune.
Yeah,
and this isn't 08.
Terrible,
but this isn't 08. No, this isn't terrible. You don't like this one?
Which one?
808s and Heartbreak.
I don't remember that one.
So this is you've Heartless and Love Lockdown. You've heard those songs.
Is that one from? I'm sure I've heard it. I don't
okay.
remember.
Anyway, this is 08. When he put this record out, everybody started sounding like this because it's 808s and Heartbreak. It's a real depressing album. It's about his mom dying, and he made the whole thing with an 808 fucking drum machine. And it's minimalistic. It's just fucking basic beats on an 808, and it's him singing through auto-tune. And then fucking everybody was doing that shit after he kind of changed. And he was pushing the envelope, and he stopped rapping. There's no raps on this. It's and he can't sing. He's doing it through auto-tune, but everybody was doing it after it. Then he started pushing a little bit more with My Beautiful Tart Twisted Fantasy, all the way up till you get to like Yeezus and Life of Pablo.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
But to me, like Yeezus is where he peaks because it's like, okay, I'm really up my own ass. I'm really gonna fucking do shit that's weird. This Black Skinhead, I Am a God, New Slaves. These are edgy fucking songs, and they were hits, but they still had hooks. They're like fucking insane. Like, who is this guy?
He was telling me HH was really good. He's like, you need to check out HH, dude. I'm like, I don't know about that, man. Well,
dude, Black Skinhead, like these.
I've actually listened to that, and it's actually surprisingly catchy. But it's like it's one of those songs where you're just like, I don't feel like I should like this, but
it was big on TikTok, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know.
Oh, look at this.
They're not playing it on radio. I'll tell you that.
How do we get back here?
Sorry.
Well, now we're on. No, but
we're talking about hip hop. Yeah.
We're talking about auteurs. We're going somewhere with this because David Lynch.
Yes.
But anyway, it's that fine line, and I think when he pushed it and he got to like Yeezus, I'm saying like these songs. I Am a God. That is what the fucking song is called. Yeah. And like I said, New Slaves and Black Skinhead is the best Kanye West song. It's fucking groundbreaking, and it's taken risks, and it could have went south, but it's fucking got hooks. After this, you get to like Yay and Jesus is King, and he started like, okay, you went over that line, dude. Like some of this shit is just not music. Like my brother was in town. He's a big hip hop guy for Christmas, and we were listening to these new tracks off his upcoming album, Bully. And I'm like,
Bully, yeah.
These aren't good songs. It's like they just kind of meander for a few minutes, and it's like a basic beat, and there's like some kind of like it never goes anywhere. So I think he's like left the fucking station now. But that's what it takes to be a genius. David Lynch, back to Lynch.
Yeah.
Most people do not fucking understand Lost Highway. And I don't think he gives a fuck. Because what is his quote? People pretty much accept that they don't fucking understand life and it makes no sense. Why are they getting on my ass if my movie doesn't make sense? I'm like, okay, makes sense. Like, it doesn't have to make sense. And I love that fucking reel that was going around after he died about him. I'm assuming it was his assistant director that he was yelling at. The assistant director was trying to move the scene on. Like, okay, we're losing daylight. This scene's running too long. Who gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck if it's 2 hours? Who gives a fuck if it's a long scene? Like, he doesn't want to play by the rules. He'll I love him. Like, you can tell he didn't really go. He's not a film school guy.
The amazing thing about him and his career, though, were any of his films ever like financially? Like, you could think of like, okay, Kubrick could be that way because his movies are going to make money. You know, different filmmakers throughout time. Tarantino is a guy that they're just going to say, okay, here's some money, go make a movie because I know it's gonna cash in at the box office. David Lynch really never had that big blockbuster type of movie that gave him the credibility to just say, fuck you, I want to do what I'm going to do. But yet he still had this long, amazing career of doing what he wanted to do. He's
like a smarter Kevin Smith, dude. So Kevin Smith he's no auteur, but Kevin Smith has this fucking pulsing fucking underground bass that will follow him wherever he goes. And the budgets that get thrown at him are accounted for such. So like even Kevin Smith, it's like they look at him like, I've never gotten a budget over X amount of dollars, because the studios see, okay, this is where your line, you're gonna do this much in profit, so we'll give you this much money. This is what we feel good. And yeah, it's just like I always think about in the world of music, I'm a big prog guy, Dream Theater. They were always on main label. Shut up, Todd. They were always on main labels, major labels. But even they said, it's like, yeah, like they never fucking pushed our band. They never gave us more money to really promote us because they were just happy because, okay, we're guaranteed a certain level of profit from them. We do this, we put this much into them, we get this much return. That's good. It didn't really help the band, but they were like that sure thing. Kevin Smith, I'm sure, is like that. Lynch had to. The budgets had to.
I've heard Kevin Smith talk about that before, and he's perfectly happy now, at least with just being able to play. You know, just okay, give me $5 million. Let me go tell my story, and then it'll make its money back, and then I'll make just enough money back to make these people happy. They'll give me more money to do another one. George Romero was kind of like that too, where he was more interested. Like, just give me this little bit amount of money. I'll make it back. I'm not trying to go for the big box office, blow up movie or anything, but just give me enough money to keep playing, just to keep making movies. And he was totally fine that way. Whereas, I always kind of felt like Lynch was kind of the same way, where he was just, I'm not looking to make a blockbuster, but I'm here to tell my stories. And the studios were just like, well, he is David Lynch at this point. Here's a little bit of money. Go make your movie, and then there's a built-in audience for it already. So it's almost better to be that way than to be that guy that's chasing the big money. This has to have a big opening weekend or I'm ruined type of thing, where it's
there's a line you don't want to, there's a line you don't want to cross, where it's like, I think there's a safe area to stay where they're not going to meddle, because you're not playing with too much fucking money. It's low risk, low reward. And I imagine people stayed the fuck out of David Lynch's hair. They probably stay out of Kevin Smith's hair. But when you're the Russo brothers and Marvel or Disney's throwing $300-400 million at you, there's probably a little bit of meddling. When you're Tim Miller and you're commissioned by James Cameron to direct Terminator Deep Fake, and because I go back to that because he always talks about how it was a miserable experience. You're gonna have him breathing down your fucking neck the whole time and up your ass all the time. It's like, because Cameron wrote the script, and it sounds like Cameron directed the damn thing, basically.
Sure.
And it's just, that sounds like misery.
Well, I feel like Cameron's kind of one of those directors too that the studio's going to give however much money because he's James Cameron. All he has to do is look at him and say, I made Titanic. I made Avatar. I made Terminator.
Breaks the rules.
Like,
he breaks the rules already. Like, he breaks the rules by throwing 400-page scripts on fucking producer, and they'll do it sight unseen. They would never even, dude, if somebody handed anybody a 400-page script, that's a big no-no. You're fucking done. They're like, it's going in the trash.
Yeah.
You get to that level, and Tarantino's at that level. He had an interesting year too, because recently he was under fire for one of my favorite moments of the year, I think, when he just, for some reason, just fucking trashed Paul Dano.
But he's Tarantino. He has every right to trash whoever the fuck he wants to. And it's not like, that's the thing. Like, I think they blew that way out of proportion, because I'm not the biggest Paul Dano fan either. But I mean, it's Quentin Tarantino. He has a podcast. He's very outspoken. He always has been outspoken about actors and movies that he doesn't like, or the ones that he does like. And it's like, all of a sudden they grab onto this Paul Dano thing. Like all of a sudden people are huge Paul Dano fans. Just out of nowhere, coming out of the woodwork. And it's just like, He's fine. He's great at playing an autistic mute. Like that's pretty much what Paul Dano does, and he's great. And then, but outside of that,
he's terrible. Dude. I don't blame. I mean, Paul Dano's not good.
I have nothing against him, but I will say there's a little bit difference of saying, "Hey, I'm not a big fan of Paul Dano," to him saying he is the weakest fucking actor in SAG. I fucking hate Paul Dano.
He is the weakest. I agree with Tarantino 100%.
That's his opinion. It doesn't stray any farther from Tarantino shitting on a movie that everybody loves, and he's just like, I never fucking got it. Or like Joker 2. He's one of the only guys that actually came out and said that he loved Joker 2 with, Lady Gaga and all that. But it's his fucking opinion, and he sees movies in a certain way that you just appreciate because, hey, it's fucking Tarantino.
Wasn't he shitting on Matthew Lillard too, which is fine.
He included Matthew Lillard in there. Like, oh god, like I can imagine being Lillard. Like, you could have stopped at Paul Dano. What the fuck?
But I don't agree with that. I love Matthew Lillard and all kinds of shit. No, but I still say it's Tarantino, and it's like, okay, you have your right to your opinion, like whatever. Like it doesn't affect my opinion whatsoever.
He can have his opinion. Yeah, I don't care either. It's fine. But I think this will kind of circle back to what I was saying about Lynch. A different type of person might have chose their words differently, just because with great power comes great responsibility. You don't think being a huge player like Tarantino and you trashing somebody couldn't possibly hurt someone's stock?
How's it gonna hurt Lillard's stock? He does fucking conventions.
No, but listen, I'm not. Look, words have power sometimes. If you're a certain person, that's all I'm saying.
But you're also that same person also has a weekly podcast where he's talking about these movies, and I'm glad, because there's so many shit podcasts out there with filmmakers and actors and actresses in Hollywood, and they won't say boo to a goose. They won't say shit about anybody because they're playing the politics game.
Robert Carradine.
Yeah, but then here comes Tarantino, and he's just like, well, I'm on a podcast. I'm going to tell my opinion. I fucking hate Paul Dano. I think he sucks in everything, and fuck him. Like, what do I care? Like, I'm not going to use him. And
the refreshing aspect of that is he's talking just like we would. Yes. Like friends hang out in their basement.
And that's why people listen to his podcast, whereas like people are not going to listen to fucking,
Robert
whatever.
Carradine,
some other podcasts where they're tiptoeing around every damn thing, where it's just like, okay, what do I
agree with you. I agree with you. I'm just saying it was funny that a guy like him did this and it picked up such steam, because here's the thing. We could all be hanging out in Todd's basement right now, and it's not really personal.
I'm a huge Tarantino fan. I just picked this up, and I've been reading this for the past few days in the hospital. So I'm here to defend Tarantino, by God.
Guys, when I say Taproot fucking sucks, it's not personal. Like if I met the guys of Taproot,
we're back at Taproot.
Look, if I met the guys at Taproot, I would be cool. I'd buy him a drink and be like, "Hey man, what's up?" They're just a regular guy, probably dads. We don't really mean that when people are hanging out in a basement, like, "Oh yeah, fucking movie sucks." It's just a movie. Like, but Tarantino, yeah, there's no filter with him. Anyway, what I was going to get at is I think Adam Carolla nailed it. I listened to Adam Carolla say this, and we were talking about people on the spectrum. He's like, I think Quentin Tarantino is on the spectrum. This is how people on the spectrum talk. Like they don't really have a filter. They just kind of say what's on their mind. And I don't think it's personal. I don't think
I like that better.
But yeah, I would 100% agree with that. I think he's 100% just kind of one of those guys that's on the spectrum, and he just says what his gums flap, and it's not personal. I don't think he would fucking, piss on fucking Paul Dano if he saw him, but
people can shut on us all the time. I don't give a fuck, man. You gotta be able to take it, dude. You're an actor. Come on. Fucking balls.
To be fair, Paul Dano never said anything. He never commented like, "Oh, my feelings are hurt." Lillard did. That somebody asked him at a panel.
Yeah, I saw that.
Somebody asked him, well, to be fair, he was asked at a panel. He's at a convention. Well, he's got to answer it. And he answered it, I guess, the best he could.
But I'm like, the Scream Nerds aren't going to pay him, his $120 for his autograph. I mean, they're still going to go and pay whatever he wants.
Because what he said was, paraphrasing, look, I'm very, very popular in this room. I'm not so popular in Hollywood. Dude, he's making his checks.
Yeah.
He's fine. He's totally good. He's like fucking Glenn Danzig. Glenn Danzig's not going to the fucking Grammys. Glenn Danzig's fine. Which, by the way, I follow these Twitter accounts that follow Glenn Danzig's abandoned house. That's like a piece of shit. It's trash, and people go in there and loot. Like, hey, I found this fucking fridge. It's got moldy fucking meat in it, spoiling, and like rock stickers all over it. Anyway, sitting here and listening to Alpha, I'm getting an urge to play some Mario Kart.
Okay.
Do it.
I'm giving the Mario vibe.
He's a barber, man. He likes
Hey,
it,
man.
dude. He likes it.
Play Mario.
But anyway, rest in peace, Lynch. I'd say that's the biggest moment from 2025 that sucks. I think Lynch passing, and he was kind of out of commission for a few years, dealing with the emphysema and all kinds of stuff he had going. He was house ridden. He couldn't leave the home. And I think he was trying to like work on something remotely, which doesn't sound super exciting to me, but I guess what are you going to do if like you want to work and you want to get your stuff out there? He was going to do what he had to do, but it was sad. But he has a great filmography. Dude, fucking speaking of Kubrick was probably a guy that was probably on the spectrum. He was he was out there as well. And what did Kanye West say? That's his fucking superpower, his like bipolar and his fucking maybe it's like a spectrum disorder.
I'm sure he is.
It's a thing, dude.
Didn't Kanye say he was more important than Stanley Kubrick at one point? So.
I'm sure he did.
I remember hearing that and thinking like, what the fuck does this have?
He's off his rocker, but I mean he's he's smart. I guess.
But Axl Rose was the white Kanye West before his time. You know, all these guys with this fucking big mega. Donald Trump is a fucking Kanye West.
Yeah,
these megalomaniacs.
They're
where they
like that,
massive heads. It's I don't know if it's like a fake it till you make it thing or if they really believe it. It's like, hey, it's Muhammad Ali. I'm the fucking greatest. I'm the fucking, you say it enough.
Yeah,
and you're the fucking greatest.
People
you're gonna psych people out. I like the story about Axl Rose talking about the first time they met David Lee Roth, who also was kind of a megalomaniac. They said when they were blowing up in '87, like, yeah, my only time I ever met David Lee Roth, he comes back to us at the MTV Music Video Awards. He comes up between me and Slash, and he puts our fucking his arms around us, and he goes, "You guys are just pretenders to the throne, man. I'm the king." And he like kind of sleaze his like away. I'm like, man, I love Dave. I love Diamond Dave.
Well, you say you mentioned the King. I mean, Elvis was kind of the same way. I mean, they kind of parody it and like Walk Hard when Jack White is Elvis, and he's like, "There's two kinds of men. People know karate, the Chinese and the King. One of them's me." That's how Elvis was. Elvis, like, there's stories out there of Elvis fucking.
Yeah. Oh, like, dude. The famous story of him
3 a.m. and like forcing his crew to get the jet ready because I got to fly to Denver to get a certain type of bread to make my peanut butter and banana sandwiches at 3 a.m. But I'm fucking Elvis, so you got to do it. Prince is the same way.
It does something to you, dude. That sort of like level of fame, and you become those guys. And Prince was one of those guys where he could walk the walk. The guy could play everything and fucking do it better than anybody else out there. He was a total just freak. An absolute prodigy with that shit. And the famous story of Elvis like just shooting the TV instead of turning it off. It's like shooting the full. It's like, what the fuck?
That's top G right there.
Yeah.
Lillard has that 13 Ghost money.
That's right.
Yeah, damn straight. He's having a bit of a having a bit of a renaissance. He's got that 5 Nights at Freddy fucking money coming in.
I've never met him, but from everything I've heard, at like these conventions, he's one of the best guests you could hope to meet. Like, he is engaged and like he's so I mean, he sounds like a great guy. Like, I've never heard a bad story about Matthew Lillard, and I've liked all kinds of different shit that he's been in, like SLC Punk and Serial Mom, Scream, of course. So that's a cool story to hear when a guy that you actually like his work, he goes to a convention and he's at the point now where he's doing conventions for monetary because he's not in a lot of movies and shit, but at the same time, like, he's one of like the nicest, coolest guests you could meet at a convention,
and he'll be making money for the rest of his life for these Scream movies.
So he is, dude. He's where you want to be. In fact, like, there's these people lower on the card at these cons that fucking wish they were Matthew Lillard.
Oh yeah,
because Matthew Lillard, Nev Campbell, Robert Englund, they're almost at that. Robert Englund's, these guys are baked in. Dude, they've got money on fucking tap. Just make an appearance and sign some autographs, and people will throw themselves at you. And at a point, isn't that what it's all about, guys? Just making some money.
Well, do you ever feel like, because where conventions are now, like, it almost feels like it's a bubble that's going to burst at some point because it's getting so expensive.
I was saying that shit. Yeah.
So much money is involved in these things. They're getting so big that, like, at some point, like, is the bubble ever going to burst? Is it just going to be like, this shit's too expensive, I can't? Because they're not, it's not like they're going to start lowering prices. That never happens. It just gets to a point where people stop going and the shit goes away.
And they spend it's already at that point where most people go to these things and they can only afford to blow all their money on one or two people. Like, it's not getting spread around. And,
I've never understood that. Like, when I go to a convention now, like if I go to a bigger convention like a Horror Hound or something like that, like I go for, you know, the vendors mostly. Like, I just want to see if I can find some cool shit in vendors. Like, if I meet one or two maybe people that I want to meet, maybe, but you see these people that go to these conventions and they spend thousands. Like, I remember at Living Dead weekend a couple of years ago when they had Howard Berger there from K&B. Like, Howard Berger never does conventions, but he's buddies with Nicotero. Nicotero was there, and you know, he had a weekend open, so he came. And there was a guy at Berger's table with literally a wagon full of posters and toys and just any and everything he could think of to bring. And he had to have spent $3,000-$4,000 at Howard Berger's table. And I'm just like, where do these people get this money? Where do they come from? I don't know if it's a business to some of these people, I'm sure, but at some point it's like they're going to price out most of the people that go to these things, and what's going to be left. And I already know, like, just talking to some of the vendors at some of these shows, that it hurts them because most of the people are having to spend all their money getting, you know, the $200 autograph from whoever, and they don't have any money left over to spend at the vendor tables and
the photo ops, dude. Those fucking VIP photo ops.
Yes,
I'm totally with you, Alpha. I mean, I go for the vendors and I go to hang out with you, Alpha, hang out with, you know, friends I meet on the show or whatever, that sort of thing. That's the thing that I look forward to doing. And it kind of brings us into a topic that, you know,
we were talking about this exact same thing a few weeks ago. I said the same shit where it's like, it's got to burst. And I mean, it needs to, because I don't know if, I think it would just revert back to what it was. I think these A-listers would stop doing them. And it would be returned to the fucking people that it was made for. It was made for the Barbara Cramptons. It was made for it. You know, this was a place where the people that really couldn't get work anymore, and this was sort of their
back in the day, there was a lot of people that were promoting stuff. Like, if they had a new movie out, they were promoting it, and it was a lot of the old guard. Like, I remember, you know, who was it? Well, Romero, for one. Like, the one and only time I met him at Texas Frightmare Weekend 2008, he was there mostly, for one, it was the 40th anniversary of Night of the Living Dead, and they had a big reunion there and everything, but he was also there mostly to promote Diary of the Dead, which had just come out like the weekend prior. So they had some of the cast and stuff from Diary there. It was like one of the only times I've ever seen them do a convention. So a lot of the times, a lot of these conventions would get these guys that were promoting their new film or had something to promote, whereas now it doesn't seem like there's much to promote. They're just there to make money by signing their name and, all right, good to see you. Here's a $100 photo op, and for 2 seconds we'll smile in front of this curtain, and then you get ushered out, and it's just so corporatized, and it just doesn't. It's just not the same anymore. I don't get it.
At the end of the day,
people spend the money to do it now.
I don't think people care. It's just it's last man standing. It's just making a buck. It's capitalism. Like, Chris Evans doesn't need to do Phoenix Fan Fusion. Like, these guys don't. They're working. They're
he's doing that.
Oh, dude, some of the bigger conventions.
Chris Evans. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, we've got Jason Momoa. All these fucking big actors.
I didn't know
they do these bigger cons. Okay. They are working. They don't, and they're gonna make gangbusters. But the thing is we were talking about this with Cody Leach. When Cody Leach, he was talking about, he went to this one convention, and I mean, he's kind of a bigger guy too. But Henry Winkler had nobody there. It's because it's become that saturated where there's too many people, where even the Fonz could have a fucking tumbleweed.
That's crazy, dude.
But that's just the way it is. Yeah. And I'm telling you, it was even getting big when I met Romero in like 2016 or whatever year that was. He died, and there was nobody at Romero's line. It was fucking tumbleweeds. Because everybody's too busy spending because maybe there's like one or two even bigger, more modern marquee people there, and everybody's blowing their fucking nut on those guys, and it's just too much. And it's sad, and you never can tell. Like I said, I went the next year at Mad Monster, and Linda Blair was the hot ticket. but to me, George Romero is just as big of a name as Linda Blair, but
way bigger. Yeah.
But I'm like, maybe not. Linda Blair was Exorcist, and that's extremely commercial across the board. Whereas
the directors don't do as well, I don't think.
Yeah, it's like
then you go meet Linda Blair, and she'll charge you until you go fuck yourself at the same time. It's pretty awesome.
But because everybody was wrapped around the corner for Linda Blair, it seemed like everybody was just going to Linda Blair, and you have all these people that are getting no action. I just think it's fucking too much. But yeah, we were gonna
2026.
So one of the things that we're gonna do, we're definitely going to Living Dead weekend. It sounds like Alpha's gonna go. I think Alpha goes every year. Todd and I are gonna go, and not only are we gonna go, we're gonna really try and make the most of it. I'm gonna bring some equipment. We're gonna try and document as much as we can, and I'm gonna try and I don't know what it's like. Alpha's gonna have to tell us what it's like navigating it. If it's I don't know. I want to be able to talk to people. I'm going to reach out to some people. I want to try and set up some kind of interview stuff. If it's the last one, God fucking kill me if we go to all this work and it's not the last one. Like shit, it's not the last one. But we want to make it a big thing. And Todd has been talking about this damn thing for years, and it being the last one, quote unquote, it finally made us get off our asses and do it. But I'm happy we get to finally go. And that's one thing we're going to do. So we're trying to get Josh James. If any of you guys follow us, normally know Josh James. I think he's going to go down with us too. So it'll be a good time, man. Just a good bro hang too, to go somewhere away from the families, the wives or whatever. It would kind of just have a good old fashioned weekend,
A fly out for a weekend. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, we want to go there and we want to work. We want to document this. This is going to be the last Living Dead weekend. Alpha's been to these Living Dead weekends, so we kind of need to know like where to stay, who to talk to, everything like that.
It's almost exactly what I just said, reworded slightly.
Can we talk to
everything?
I know the guy who does like the that does the tours and everything like that. You think we can maybe document some of that and all from there and all that?
That's the thing. Like we were just talking about like these big bloated corporate conventions and stuff like that, and Living Dead weekend is like the complete opposite of that, which is one of the things I think brings people back to it, because it really is just like the one time a year that all these people can get together and hang out from all over the world. Like I see my closest friends live nowhere near me, like California, Michigan, Atlanta, Canada, and it's like we all just convene and it's the most laid back. Like you can just go up to tables and just talk to whoever. You don't got to pay. It's not like huge lines. You don't have to buy a ticket to get into a line to buy another ticket or that type of shit. It's definitely more of a family atmosphere. Kevin, who runs it, is a super cool, super laid back guy who really loves this shit, knows his shit, knows what the fans want out of an event like this, which is why it's gone on as long as it has, and it's continued to be a success because it brings back, like, I know people that like every year their one vacation that they take from the UK or Japan or wherever is Living Dead weekend every year in June. So it's very laid back. It's not I mean, there are certain limitations. I mean, you can't,
follow Savini into the toilet, because I plan on it.
You probably could do that, honestly. Like I've seen people, run into Savini, like in hotel lobbies, and
he'd probably be like, "I'm down to party if you are." Like, whoa.
Probably, yeah. At this point, yeah. But yeah, I mean, Larry's super cool. Larry's often really busy over the weekend because he's running the tours. He also has a vendor booth there as well. So when he's not at his booth, he's usually on the tours or helping out with something else. But yeah, it's a very close knit group of people that work on this every year. And like I said, like most of the guests that come to these things are just super open, super cool. What is that?
My toenail just fell off.
That's disgusting.
That's my pinky toenail, dude.
I was thinking booger, and then it's like you went too far. I was like, if it was a booger, I'd have been fine.
Finish your thought, Alpha. I was interested. I don't need to see Aaron's toenail.
But no, I mean, basically, it's a very laid back environment. I definitely recommend taking the tour, Larry's tour. You can get to certain places in the mall, because this does seem like it will be the last, if not the last one, it'll be definitely the last big Dawn of the Dead reunion, because some of the names that I've heard that they're trying to get for this, this show, it's pretty big names that if they can pull off would be really, really cool. And I think would, really, I don't want to say any names or anything like that because it's not, but, so yeah, they're gung ho. They know that this is probably the last year in the mall's existence. So they know that this is the last chance to get as many, like anybody and everybody that was involved in Dawn of the Dead in some way is going to, they've already announced Ken Foray. He'll be there. So that's the first one they've announced, but like they're reaching all over to get as many people as they can. So it's going to be, if you've never been, this is definitely the one that you want to go to. If you're a Dawn of the Dead fan, if you've never been to the mall, if you have been to the mall, but you haven't been in a while, this is definitely the one to go to. Because like I said, this is probably the last year that mall's existence. I think April 2027 was the year or the date that they said, which it's crazy to think, because I still see because Kevin, they run the Living Dead Museum in the mall. Like he runs that. He has a couple other stores in the mall as well. And you see like there's still about 75% occupancy in that mall. Like I know the Christmas season it was just happening, and you hear people talk, it's like, yeah, this is the busiest the mall has been in years. And it's just like, it feels like Monroeville, the Monrovers that have been so used to that mall being there all this time, and now they know, oh, it's going away. We gotta soak it in as much as we can, hang on for dear life, because it's gonna be a fucking Walmart in a couple of years. Yippee. Yeah, nothing says, upward mobility in a community than, a Walmart has come to town. Yay, everybody's going to do great now. So yeah, I mean, I think it's a great, I'm kind of of the same mindset, because like I said, this is going to be my 6th year in a row of going to the June show. I've probably been to everyone since 2001 at this point. But like going back this year, it's like I'm trying to think like you guys. I'm trying to think like, what do I want to document? Like, what do I want to do? Like, I got to do something. I feel like there's work to be done. There's something to be accomplished that I need to do before it's too late. I don't know what it is. So, I mean, any way I can help you guys with whatever you guys have in mind, like just let me know, and I'll see what I can do. But yeah, it's.
I'm looking forward to talking to the fans, the people there, the tailgate. I want to talk to the community, man.
Yeah.
And actually, that's the pulse of any good like pseudo documentary, is the fandom and talking to the people that travel far and wide. Like Alpha mentioned, that's people's vacation, which, by the way, I think that's the theory behind how do people afford conventions. When I see families go to these conventions, I'm like, it was either this or Disney World. Like literally, this is the vacation. No, this is the vacation they plan for all year. And these people that love it, their families love it. They groom their kids like, we're all a horror family. It's very nice and touching. But
it's so nice to have something like Living Dead Weekend for the fan base, like a Romero fan base. Hey, what's up, Jeff?
Thanks for was that money directed towards him? Because he ain't getting any of it. I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding. No, no, thanks. Happy New Year's, brother.
Jeff's the man.
We're gonna buy him a drink at Living Dead Weekend on you.
Hell yeah. Just give me an Iron City, I'll be happy. But it's just been so nice to have this like gathering spot for all these fans, because I mean that's the thing that keeps these movies. I mean, these movies are, the new generation. They don't know much about Romero, or like I see young people sometimes. I tell them, oh, I do a horror podcast YouTube channel, and they're like, oh, what are you talking about, Terrifier and something? Like, no, more of the classic stuff. They're like, oh, what is that? Like, I've never heard of this George Romero guy. I'm like, whatever. But it's like this fandom that's built over the years from all these people, like Norman England, Matt Blasey, Lawrence DeVincent, Michael Felsher, like all these hardcore Romero fans that keep this work and this legacy going throughout the years. Like, this is where they all come. Like, Felsher's there every year, Larry's there every year, Blasey's there every year, and it's like these are the people that have cultivated this fandom to the point where I'm at now, because I learned a lot from these people growing up. Like, they were the original guys that had the original websites, the original, like the Zombie Farm website, the WGON website, the original message boards. They were the ones that were tracking down all this information that made me love the movies even more. And it's like and so you're talking about the fandom and stuff, like that is the part that interests me, and that's actually a big thing that I'm going to focus on more in 2026 on my channel, is talking to and finding out more about some of these people that, you know, helped cultivate this fandom to where it's at now, to where you have something like a Living Dead Weekend, or you have some jack off like me doing a YouTube channel all about George Romero. You know, it's like, where did this come from? And it's like these people that I learned from and admire, and like I want to focus more on the fandom of the Romero, more so than just like trying to pick apart the movies as much, because it's like, what more can you say after a while? You know, I've been doing this for about 3 years now, and it's just like, how much more can I talk about Dawn of the Dead? You know, it's just like everybody's kind of talked about it to death at this point. So I want to find out the people that like, oh, you visited the mall in 1980, like you were the first person to figure out that mall existed. I want to talk to you, or you know. That's the stuff that interests me, and then Living Dead Weekend is kind of like the hub where all these people get together, and it's going to be weird, which I think they're still going to have Living Dead Weekends after the mall is gone, but it's all
not the same
at this point.
No.
Yeah, it's just they're not going to have that drawing power of the mall. It won't be like you get to knock off 2 things on your bucket list. I'm going to go meet so and so, and I get to visit the mall, which is literally the main character of the movie in Dawn of the Dead is that mall. Like that's the main.
It's already kind of depressing that it's just not the same mall anymore. That's already kind of like you're on hallowed grounds. But like this fucking Forever 21 used to be a Radio Shack, and before that it was the Brown Dirt. You know, it's like it's still a little bit kind of. Oh, this just looks like a fucking mall.
Which I mean, like, God bless YouTube though. I mean, YouTube has a lot. Like I was watching not too long ago. Like Sean Clark did a lot of his old stuff where he like went on the roof and all that stuff. Which the mall, that stuff's awesome, dude. Like having that stuff out there, like reliving that is just like
that's why I say like definitely
just amazing, man.
Yeah, that's why I say like definitely take Larry's tour of the mall.
We're gonna do everything. Yeah, have to.
He does an amazing job. Because like I said, if you just go to the mall the first time you're there, you look around, you're like, yeah, I can kind of see that wall over there. I remember that from the movie, and I remember that entrance, like the biker entrance looks almost exactly the same. But yeah, the mall has changed over 50 years, as any mall will.
Sure.
But Larry does an amazing job of just putting you in a spot and saying, okay, if you look here and you match this and you match that, and all of a sudden you're in the movie. Especially like in the back halls, like the boiler room, the stairwell that leads up to the hideout, like all that looks exactly the same.
That's cool.
And Larry does just an amazing job of breaking it down for you to be, and he has like a little booklet where you can match shots from the movie and stuff, and you're all of a sudden you're there. Like I've taken the tour 3 times at this point, just because it gives me a chance to stop what I'm doing in the craziness of the weekend and the
smell the flowers, dude,
and just stop and take it in and be like, wow, okay, I'm standing right here, and this is where that shot was, and you can see it. It's like it's in your head, you know.
Like you think Flyboy cut a fart right here? Probably.
I think of that. I do think of that.
I think of that. No, I do think of that stuff whenever I'm anywhere. Like, for example, like I was watching that Jack and Osborne World Detour, and they went through Arizona, and I was telling Todd, look, they went to the same ghost town that we went to, and we went to that one of those places where you dress up in old-timey clothes and they take your photo. It's tiny. I'm like, they went to the same one, and I'm like, I wonder if he's wearing any of the same articles I did. And I was wearing the art, or like, I wonder if I was, and this is we went after this obviously aired. I'm like, I wonder Ozzy had to have crop dusted in here.
Yeah.
Am I getting some of those shit particles? And he's dead now. I'm like, oh God, give it. I think about that weird stuff. Like we're sharing space and air with people.
Absolutely. I mean, I mean, those walls have
energy stays. Energy's
that's
the walls have energy to them. Yeah.
My buddy John Vulo put it the best way, and he put it in a way that it was like it made total sense to me. He was like, why do we obsess about these movies? Why do we want to find out all this information? Why are we so intrigued about every aspect of every day of filming? And it's just like it's the closest we'll ever be to actually being on set.
Sure.
It's like if you're a Star Wars fan, you can never visit the actual Millennium Falcon because it's not a real thing. You can't ever just like, I'm going to go visit where they shot Star Wars, because it's just, that's not possible. They can recreate it and they can do, this is very similar or whatever, but you're not actually there. Where like in Dawn of the Dead or Night of the Living Dead Cemetery or something like that, you're just like, this is where they were standing all those years ago. This is where it happened. It's like visiting, I don't know, like fucking Gettysburg or something for like history buffs, you know. It's just like blood was spilled on this ground, you know, and I'm standing here type of thing.
Possibly even come too. We don't know what they were up to after set. You know.
Well, I mean, with the stories with Savini and Jeannie Jeffries back when they were shooting
Do you
Dawn,
think-
there probably was.
I wonder if we drop one on the fucking mall floor, there will be like an Uncle Frank underneath the boards, dude. And it'll come alive like an Hellraiser. It'd be like Tom Savini, like no, Romero comes back, dude.
Or some of those stories from the bike gang that rolled through the mall when they were
I'm
shooting. I mean,
sure,
some of the
dude.
drugs and sex
I'm
that was
sure
going
they're
on
great.
during all that. Some of those stories are crazy.
Well, Todd, I challenge you to lick the tiles and you'll get some of that
Yes.
DNA.
I might. Hey,
I mean, some of it's still
yeah. It's the
I'm
last
sure
convention.
it never really washes away completely. Hey, I was gonna say to your point though, you're right. How much could even the people that made the films really talk? What new is there to say? The fans, I think, is really where it's at. And I love old documentaries like Heavy Metal Parking Lot. You remember that?
Oh
Where they're
yeah,
just like they're
I've
talking to the
seen
tailgate. That and you see the people that are like a
Oh,
total
okay, yeah,
time
yeah.
warp, dude. Acid wash, fucking denim jackets, and the fucking hair. Priest was on top of the world. Woo! It's so cool. And then there's that new one where the Metallica Save My Life documentary, where it's all about the fans. That is awesome. I want to follow like those hardcore guys day to day. I want to see their rooms. I want to know what got them into it. I want to know their stories that are attached to it. Everybody's got a story. You know, Todd's told
Absolutely.
his big brother stories, you know, and my stories are attached to meeting Todd, and it's all fantastic. So yeah, we're gonna do that. And Alpha, yeah, if you could, maybe we'll ask you to help point us in the right direction of talking to some of these guys, because I know it's not a traditional convention where you're at like there's a hall and an actual building. It's a fucking mall, but I would like to talk to as many people as I can.
Sure.
Get a few minutes if possible. I want to talk to the fans, but if I could get 5 minutes alone with Image 10, that'd be fantastic.
Jesus.
I was waiting for that.
No.
We'll wait
That's
to
the
the
thing,
end,
it's like
end of the
Every-
weekend.
I'm
We'll wait till
kidding.
the
I'm
end of the
kidding. I'm
weekend.
kidding. I'm kidding. Yeah, they'll be my last one. Like, no, I'm just kidding. But I do want to talk to anybody. And by the way, if I talk to anybody with Image 10, it would be professional, and I would. I might ask
you
about
meet
it.
those guys, and they're like they're the coolest guys in the world. So I had that perception about Jim Serenelli, just the way that he handles business for Image 10 on Facebook. Like if somebody posts like, "Oh, here's a Night of the Living Dead I put on YouTube," and he's like fucking on it, and he's very stern and blah blah blah. And so I had this mental image of what he was like before I met him for the first time. And I was like, I bet he's going to be like just a real crabby asshole. And then you talk to him for 5 minutes and he's just like the nicest guy in the world, and I'm just like, okay, I see what you have to be to get your job done, because like I said, you're trying to put a fucking 60-year-old genie back in its bottle, which is damn near impossible, but you got to do what you got to do. But yeah,
I think he's doing
actually
what
really
he
a cool guy.
I think he's doing what he doesn't have to do, though. I you know what I mean? Like, I think look, I think they go after the wrong people sometimes. But regardless,
they do. They absolutely do. And he's talked to that. He's mentioned that before, where he said, like, you know, a lot of this stuff, like, I if it were up to me, like, I would say, okay, it ain't that big of a deal. But he's paid to do a job.
From that perspective,
and
yeah,
that's kind of like where he's at. And it's so, like I said, man, Night of the Living Dead, everybody, like, it's the most famous public domain movie in history. And from his perspective, it's like I said, he's trying to wrangle cats, where it's just like, and at some point you're going to wrangle a raccoon every now and then, or you're going to wrangle a squirrel accidentally, and you're going to say, oh, well, what the fuck? I gotta get these cats in somehow, you know? So it's an impossible job.
So if I talk to anybody like that, I would definitely ask those types of questions, but I would come at it in a professional way about the job and that what he's tasked to do. I wouldn't say, you motherfucker. I wouldn't do that. Like, I was one of them.
And throw a drink in his face.
I wasn't one of them.
Tell us, and you don't have to give us a strike. I mean,
I'll fucking no. I would approach it in a general sense, like what is it like? Like you said, having to put that genie back in the bottle. You know what I mean? I wouldn't make it a personal thing. Or I could turn it to a Tom Green undercutters bit, and I throw a piece on him or whatever. And no, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that. But anyway, yeah. So maybe if there's anybody that you could, like you said, the guy that runs it, we'd like to get these guys contacts, because we want to plan as much as we can.
Yeah.
But I definitely want a lot of it to be Heavy Metal Parking Lot style. we're at this big event where everybody's congregating for the same reason. These people are going to be amped. That's why heavy metal parking lot and all this shit
And
was
this
so
is going to
great.
be the biggest one, don't you think, Alpha? Like,
Maybe.
Yeah.
people are going to be like,
well, I mean,
amped up for this.
shit, man. Like last June when they had, the Day of the Dead reunion and all that, and that was when the news first broke of the mall being sold and all that. And I remember after that Sunday night, we were all having dinner, and Kevin, guy who runs it, Kevin Christ, said like this was the most successful show he's ever done, and he had just got a text from Howard Sherman saying that was the most money Howard Sherman had ever made at a convention ever.
Wow.
I was like, wow,
Okay.
that's crazy. So yeah, I think it'll be as big, if not bigger, because I mean, like I said, this is going to be the last. For a lot of the guests that are Dawn of the Dead specific,
Sure.
this is going to be the last time you're going to get to see them, because it's not like
Sure.
how horror hounds going knocking on the door of David Crawford or something like that.
Yeah.
It's like it's going to be their last appearance and the last chance you're going to get to meet a lot of these people. So
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a big one.
So it's the move is not to go up to Ken Fourier and be like, so is this the big fucking Keenan and Kel convention? Just like play it off like it's all about Keenan and Kel. Like, God, there's so many fucking Keenan and Kel fans. I didn't realize how big it got over the last 25 years.
Ken's
No.
cool, man. Ken's cool. Like my buddy Synth went up to him and filmed this. Just didn't pay for an autograph or anything, but Ken's just sitting there, and Synth went up and just had a conversation with Ken, asked him some questions, and and that's kind of, I mean, that's the vibe. You can't do that at a lot of these conventions, but that's the vibe you got at Living Dead weekend. It's like if there's nobody at somebody's table, just walk up and say, "Hey, it's great to see you." Like,
that's the way it used
how
to
are
be.
things?
That's the way it used to be. And
hell, fucking my buddy Grande's Graveyard.
Oh,
when he
yeah,
met
Grande.
John Amplis. When he met John Amplis for the first time, he just sat there and talked to John Amplis for 30 minutes about Martin, and nobody loves talking about Martin more than Amplis. Like, he's the biggest fan of his own shit like in the world, so he's the great guest to talk to. He'll answer every question. He'll talk to you about everything. And 30 minutes in, like, Amplis was like, "All right, well, here," and he signed an autograph and gave it to Grant. He's like, "Ah, don't worry about it," and just free autograph, whatever. Like, thanks for hanging out for 30 minutes and talking. Like, it's just it's much more laid back than
family atmosphere. Yeah.
Nice.
Question: do they keep it super on brand? Like, for example, you have guys like Ken Foray who they've done a lot of stuff. Do they avoid having like Joe Grizzly 8x10s and it's just, hey, we're just gonna do Dawn today?
No,
It's everything.
Yeah, because they'll do, like, I know they were trying to back in October, because they had Ken in October as well, and they were trying to get Barbara Crampton and then the Reanimator reunion, because it was the anniversary of Reanimator too. And they're like, well, we have Ken.
Okay.
Yeah, so we have Ken here too, so we can do a From Beyond photo op or something like that. And that's the thing about the photo ops too. It's like they put in a lot of work for like the props and the background and stuff. It's not just a curtain and you stand there in front of a glass case or something and one picture goodbye. It's like a whole thing you could do. There's props you can use, and they get into costume, and it's definitely more of a family atmosphere.
And the person you paid a mortgage payment to is standing like 6 feet away from you.
Hey,
those are the worst looking.
You know what?
Yeah.
Hey, I'll pay a mortgage payment if we can get Aaron and myself with Tom Savini. We can do a channel. We can like hold up a Revival House sign or something like that. Like, yeah, that would be stellar, dude.
He'd have to be bent over, me fucking him like the bitch he is. No, I'm just kidding.
All the
I'm just
Savini
kidding.
stories, man.
I don't know if he'll do that or not.
I love it. I love it.
I'm kidding, by the way. Like, if I saw Savini, it's all just like fucking kayfabe at this point.
God, it's so fun, dude. It's so fun.
It's we were dying laughing, making jokes about following him into the bathroom. just create this grandiose thing with like the running gun and fucking tapping his foot in the stall and him being down, or like him taking a shit and like a boom mic is like coming over the stall. We live in our own fucking fantasy world sometimes. So
yeah, you guys put a lot of thought into your Savini fantasies here.
I would shake his hand and be like, dude, you've given us so much laughter over the years.
Oh God, so much content, dude.
I actually don't give a shit. It's really funny. That's all it is kayfabe. But I was gonna say, Racing Genius, I'd love to attend a con this year. Problem is I have to find one that's within driving distance. So shocked there isn't one, because I feel like there's a million of them now. Speaking of the bubble burst, there's like something for everybody, but it's not driving distance. I don't know where you live, but if anybody wants to come out, first of all, if you come out the Living Dead weekend, say hi to us. We'll hang out. We can interview you. But if you guys ever find yourself in Phoenix, we're going to go to Mad Monster. That's one of our, we have We have a Mad Monster chapter. The other one's in North Carolina. We also have Days of the Dead chapter here. I go to Mad Monster. That's the one I usually choose. Last year they canceled it. Last year they canceled Days of the Dead because they literally ran them on the same weekend. I'm like, well, that's fucking disastrous.
Yeah.
How do you do that? And Days of the Dead fucking lost out, canceled. But Todd's been out a few times for Mad Monster. This time we're gonna do it pretty big. We got a suite in the actual convention center. We're going to set up a studio. I've got about 12 grand in fucking professional film equipment at this point. We're going to do it right. And starting now, we're getting in contact with people. I'm going to start lining up interviews. We're at the convention hall trying to see how many of these guys we can get up in that room and to give us give us a piece of their mind for a little bit. And we're gonna make the most out of it. We're gonna film the convention. We're gonna do a little bit of that heavy metal parking lot thing there too. But we plan on making like a big splash at this one. And doing it right and making good with the people that run the con and just So if you guys find yourself there, if anybody's in the Phoenix area, don't be fucking weird and don't bring a gun, but say hi. Don't be, if you're one of those weirdos, don't say hi.
Hey,
but if you're
you
cool,
can buy his Waffle House. How about that? I'm just kidding.
But Todd's not going to fuck you in exchange for it.
I won't kiss you.
No. But it's a joke. But like if anybody wants to go or turn up at these events, or maybe you live in the Valley or you live in this part of the country, it's a great con, dude. Mad Monster still reminds me of the cons of at least 10 years ago, where they're not too crazy. And Mad Monster, they pull in the big names, but it's still one like floor. It's not, some of them get ridiculous, like double decker and like multiple floors. And we're going to put the vendors on the ground level and the talents at the top. It's segregated. This is still pretty old school. And you know what? You could still kind of walk up to people and say hi.
Sure.
If there's no one at their line. So they haven't gotten to this one yet. And it's a good time. So yeah, we're going to go all out for that one. I'm really, 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 really excited about it. And like I said, I told Todd, I have dropped 12 grand in pro equipment. I'm getting my fucking shit out of it. I'm like, right. I'm fully invested in this. And we're even fully invested in the fact that we got a big suite, because the last thing you want to do is, hey, we're staying at the Motel 6 next door. You want to come over to our sleazy, great motel? No, like we're put up in one of the nicest suites at the convention center everybody's at. It's great. So I want to talk to Warwick Davis, baby. I wonder if he'll roll in with his wheelchair and he'll give me 5 minutes of his time. I'll give him a shilling, dude. I'll like for a shilling.
A shilling, dude. We start throwing shillings.
The funniest thing you could do just flip him a fucking coin. It's like, there you go.
A milk chocolate, like one.
Yeah.
Oh, and the best part is a lot of times the people that are like in the other chapter, like the North Carolina version is in February every year, and a lot of times you look at that lineup, they're obviously going to ask all the people they got for that lineup if they're available to do the Phoenix one in the summer. So it usually is going to be pretty similar, and we've got 3 of the people announced from that one, and it's so funny because the first 2 are Warwick Davis, and the other one is another like a luminary of the little people, Phil Fondacaro. So I would find it hilarious if the first
luminary of the little people.
Look, I would find it
little people. I love
me too. I'm a big fan of their Pornhub category. Listen, no, I'm just kidding. I don't watch this stuff. Listen, I jest, but I think it would be hilarious if like the first 2 videos we put up from this event are me sitting next to 2 little people in a row. It's gonna look like, what are you guys trying to rebrand as? Is this like like I want to get the guy who played fucking Mickey from Seinfeld. I just want to put them all in sequence. And then we got to get the guy from Friday. And then we got to get the Warwick Davis of today is Peter Dinklage. Because Warwick Davis is king, dude. He's like the go-to guy. Yeah. And I think he's like basically semi-retired. Right, I think he's semi-retired now, so he actually doesn't have a lot to promote, probably nothing. So we might not get him, but I'm gonna try. But yeah, Dinklage is the dude now, dude. So I
Dinklage is the man.
I have to get that Mount Rushmore of.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna say it again. I hit my quota. Now Todd did it. But
what?
The Mount Rushmore.
Little people. That's all I said.
You know who else is on my Mount Rushmore, but I think he might be dead? Dink the Clown, R.I.P.
Oh
from
yeah,
WWF. I want
Dink, Dink, yeah.
Orange
What about Billy
Swoggle,
Barty?
like
You know, Billy Barty, another great
old school.
a
Drunken
luminary of
Dwarf.
the little people.
From
Yeah, Hank the Drunken
Jeff.
Dwarf.
yeah,
R.I.P.
Wee Man.
Wee Man, yeah.
Yeah, Eric the Midget. R.I.P.
Yeah, Eric.
Oh
Yeah,
god,
yeah.
dude! First of all, Eric the Midget.
Oh,
Joe
he's so
C.
funny,
Joe
dude. I
C.
love
Going
him,
back to our
dude.
boy Joe C.
Josie. Well, Josie's like a fucking god compared to them. He's tall, dude. Compared to them, he's 3'9".
Well,
dude.
his thing is he looked like a child, so that it was funny. His whole gimmick was like it was funny seeing a child rap about having a huge dick and stuff. So that was like
Yeah.
his big thing.
Eric the actor, you stupid fucking idiot.
Vern Troyer was a
I'm
top
club
G.
fucking footage, asswipe.
Vern Troyer was a top G in the Little People. You know?
Vern, yeah, Vern
But,
was.
dude,
Vern was a G.
I tell you what, if Eric the actor was still alive, I would fucking knock over Warwick. I would fucking kick the cane of Vern Troyer to get to Eric the actor because he's number one in my heart.
He's
dude.
king, dude.
He was
I
the, he was
love
the
Eric.
best.
Yeah.
My
So
favorite. It's him and
fucking funny.
Bigfoot. Him and Bigfoot. Maybe my two
Bigfoot's
favorite
funny.
whack packers, man. Look
Gosh.
what all it is.
Dude, I have this theory that as these whack packers die off, they're literally draining Howard of all his like originality, life
Yeah,
force. Like
Howard
It seems that
Stone.
way.
when one dies, he loses another piece, and they're all dead now almost, and they still got Beetlejuice, but he's
High pitch, I think, still alive, isn't he?
Yeah, high pitch
Yeah,
is
High
still alive. Who else, man? I think Bigfoot. Isn't
much.
Bigfoot still alive?
I think Bigfoot
Might be.
died.
Really?
Did Bigfoot pass away?
I don't
Oh,
think
Todd-
so, man.
Maybe not.
It
Todd,
seems
get
like
on
he
it.
should have, but I don't.
Jeff the drunk died, didn't he?
Yeah,
No.
I think he passed. Yeah.
No, Jeff the Drunk's still alive. I think.
Oh, he is?
I think
Is
so.
Bigfoot Todd? Is Bigfoot dead? We have to know. What we got? We went from small people.
The
to very
original
large-
Bigfoot. The original Bigfoot. Matthew. What's his name from Devil's Rejects and House of 1,000 Corpses?
Tiny,
He was the
guy-
original he was the original Bigfoot, and then after he died, that's when the other Bigfoot came onto the scene. Anyway.
Robert, I just hope the Day of the Dead 4K comes out this year. Is this supposed to come out in 2026?
Yeah,
It should,
they
yeah,
announced
it
it.
should.
I
Scream
hate-
Factory 4K should be this year, and then either later this year or 2027 is when the second sight Day of the Dead 4K.
Oh, no shit. Okay.
Yeah,
second
which
fight
should
is
be
coming
if
out.
it's anything like the Day of the Dead
Wait.
or the Dawn of the Dead box set that they did.
There is a second sight day coming.
I don't know if it's not official yet, but from everything that I've heard, yeah, they have the rights to do Day of the Dead over in the UK. So Second Sight's going to do
Oh hell
their
yeah,
own
yeah.
version.
That's the one to wait for then.
Bigfoot's still alive.
Okay, shit.
Somehow. I don't know.
Yeah.
Robert, I hope to be able to have the money and go to the mall this year. Question: So, Robert, have you been up there before? Have you and Alpha crossed paths?
I've
In the
never met
flesh?
Robert. No, I've never
Oh,
met.
okay.
Every year he's talked about he's wanting to go. And I'm telling, dude, come on, man.
This
Time's
is the
running
year.
out. Yeah, time is
Yeah.
running out, my man. Like, just fucking do it. Like, I've never met anybody that's like, oh, when I'm on my deathbed, oh, I wish I would have done less in life. Like, nobody's ever said that. I was like, oh, I wish I wouldn't have done this.
I
or,
wish I would have went to Monroeville Mall. It's like, don't
That
you wish
would have
you
been
would've-
me. It took me years to finally fucking make the trip because it just seemed like, oh wow, that's like light years away. And then it's like once you go, it's like, oh, it's not that far, and I'm just gonna go all
No.
the time now. But yeah, it's just like one of those things. It's like, yeah, it was on my bucket list. Like there are other places like that too, but that I hope to get to at some point. But
Well, I include my main reason. Well, I know Todd wanted to go last year, and I kind of talked you out of it. Like, hey, you can go if you want, but I'm like, I was kind of selling you against it. Like, hey, man, just know it's not going to be what you think. Like, the mall's not what it is anymore. Blah, blah, blah. But then it lasted one more year. I'm like, all right. I told him, I said, if it comes back one more year, I'll go with you. And it's honestly more about going with Todd because Todd is part of that group. He's the fandom. And I love everybody's excitement. I love the movie. I think it's a 10 out of 10. I'm not this guy that's like, you know what I mean? I'm not fucking
well,
fawning.
the thing about the mall, like, yeah, a lot's changed, and it does, a lot. Yeah, it's not the same stores and all that. But the thing about the locations for Romero stuff in Pittsburgh is that all of his films were set in Pittsburgh, all the towns and stuff
sure.
around it. Like, it just like when you first get there, like it feels like familiar. You the signs for all these places that you see from like the emergency rescue stations in Night of the Living Dead. It's like, oh, Willard. Oh, that's a real place. Like, oh, I want to go to Willard just because that's from Night of the Living Dead, or Evans City, Monroeville. Like it's not like it was filmed here, but it was set in, it's supposed to be set in, Alabama or something. It's a completely. It feels like you're there. And yeah, a lot has changed about the mall, but there's a lot that hasn't changed about the mall. Like it's instantly noticeable, especially that biker entrance, man. Like nothing has changed about that. It looks exactly the same as it did. The parking lot looks a lot, the layout is very similar still. Like once you're there, the bones are still there. The vibe is still there. It still feels like the mall. Like it's hard to explain, but yeah, it's like when you first walk in, it's like, I know, like, this is the mall. Like, this is it. Like,
yeah, and I've watched a lot of newer videos on YouTube about it, and like I can still see it, man. It still brings me back. So I am really excited to see it, and I'm excited to hang out with everybody and see everybody. And yeah, I'm it'll be a fun weekend, man.
Oh yeah,
getting to see everybody.
Something that you were getting at earlier, and I think is you were talking about like the new ilk, not knowing, Terrifier, but who's George Romero. I think that's what it's all about. I often think about my Roman Empire. Is that what the kids were doing on TikTok? But I sit there and think about, dude, there was fucking like Native Americans and people running around where I'm at now. There was battles fought, people dying. There was dinosaurs here. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, the soil is always here. But like eventually all this shit erodes. But if you really think about everybody that's been here, or, like, oh, this used to look like 200 years ago, this looked like fucking a Western that we'd see. The cowboys were just like traversing through the fucking desert. There was no paved roads. It was all just, it's crazy. And the fact of the matter is, I think human nature is, well, procreation is part of that. Human instinct is to procreate. It's because we don't want to be forgotten. We don't want to forget things. Everybody wants to be remembered and leave something behind. And the sad thing is everything eventually gets forgotten. I mean, like Elvis Presley, if the world's around another 10,000 years, nobody's going to know who fucking Elvis Presley is. We don't know who the Elvis Presley was fucking 10,000 years ago. And eventually it will die. And we want to hold on to that as long as possible. And we want to like, preserve it as long as possible. And if the kids of tomorrow can still be into Dawn of the Dead or any of this stuff, that's great. I there was an interview I just read with Sean Lennon, and he even said, they asked him, like, do you think, because he said, I think that fucking kids today, the Beatles are at threat of being forgotten. And they're like, you really think that? It's like, I never used to think that. He's like, but now he's like, because his whole thing is like, I just want to keep my mom and dad alive, like the legacy. And he's like, I really do. For the first time ever the last few years, I think the Beatles are at risk of people, because there are fucking, believe it or not, really young kids that don't know the Beatles. Now, that doesn't mean that they won't go through their life eventually hearing the Beatles and knowing that, they're probably going to last for a while yet. But yeah, dude, there's fucking people that don't know the fucking Beatles to any age. It's the shit's going to go away. It doesn't matter how big you were. It's like, and it makes you start thinking like, dust in the wind shit. Like, God, dude, we're just finite, man. Like, we're all going to be here. We're going to be dead. We're going to be on our deathbeds. And then we're just like vapor. We're just all a very small grain of sand.
Wormwood.
We're just part of something bigger. The universe is fucking so big. That's actually really humbling. It's really comforting to me. Like, when you get all up in your head about making a difference and making your stamp in life, at the end of the day, when you realize, God, I'm just such a small part. Like, when fucking Elvis Presley is going to be forgotten someday, it kind of makes you feel comfortable. Like, you know what? Let's enjoy the ride, do the best we can.
Yeah, but you don't have to be Elvis Presley or the Beatles to leave your lasting remark on something.
I'm just saying that even those guys are going to eventually fade away.
But will they really, though? Even if it's not in like a nostalgic memory sort of way, where it's like, oh, nobody's listening to Hound Dog anymore. But at the same time, the music that he inspired other music, and it's a timeline that continues. So there's always a thread that this would not exist if this didn't happen 100 years ago, or this wouldn't exist if this didn't happen 100 years ago. And even in a small way, whether it's a film or a song or an album or a piece of music from somebody that nobody's ever heard of, if it affected one person, that they passed it on to a generation, and then
Yeah,
that
that
generation
definitely makes
passed it
sense.
on.
Yeah.
Like that's these little threads of art and stuff like that will continue far beyond, and even in ways that people don't even really realize. Like my daughter's 5, but like she knows dad's zombie stuff. She knows dad's movies and stuff
But
like that.
you're here to show it to her,
Right.
yeah.
And she will go on and eventually maybe one day she'll play something for her kids, and then so on and so forth. Like I realize that so often in such a small way, like thinking about like my family lineage and hearing stories about like my great grandpa and hearing things and being like, oh, that sounds like my kind of guy. Like I must have gotten something from him somewhere down the line, from my grandpa to my dad to me, and so on and so forth. And it's like, yeah, so everybody's leaving a constant lasting impression. Like when you're gone, like that's, unless you're Hitler or you're a horrible person and the only memory that people have of you is what a piece of shit you were, like you're gonna have a lasting effect on somebody somewhere down the line,
Sure.
But it just but it has to thin out. Like it can't be as many, like there's not going to be as many of you
Well, sure.
of what you're into in this generation. You're going to leave it on to your daughter, but her generation will be even less so and less so. And I don't know. I think it's totally okay. It'll be interesting to see what happens because now we have technology that didn't exist. We have digital footprint. Back then it's like literally nobody knows who anybody was unless you were in the fucking Dead Sea Scrolls or some of the ancient Chinese texts and they're written out by name. It's like, other than that, we don't know who the fuck you were back then.
It's tough because I wish I would have known my great grandfather. Like I've researched stuff, but I can't. But like actually, my grandfather, of course, I know him. I mean, he has some things where I can actually pass on to my kids. So it's tough, man. So yeah, some of this technology is actually helping us out.
The thing the thing that's making me a little down on it and just more accepting of it is, it's like I would say, well, as long as we have the next generation of filmmakers or musicians like Damien Leone, Terrifier, you brought that up, modern. Okay. These kids that love that are going to go down the rabbit hole of Damien Leone and they're going to find out what he grew up with. And that's where that stuff's going to exist and it's going to get fed through the inspiration. But now we're like on the cusp of all this fucking AI shit. Dude, if fucking AI films take over, all that shit's going to dwindle.
You're too cynical.
I'll be realistic. Uncle Frank.
You be positive.
I'm with
I'll
you
be
on
realistic.
that. I mean, I don't think that, I fret for the future of art, film, music, whatever with AI and stuff. But then I always got to remind myself, it's like, yeah, but technology, like I'm sure people that grew up listening to big band music, when the first time they heard an electric guitar was just like, this isn't music. What is this shit? And it's just, and it's grown and it'll continue and it'll continue. And there's always been advanced like technology, whether it was the buggy whip factory's going out of business. Oh no, what are we going to do?
And
like, it's just like
VCRs were putting the film industry out. I know it's always been a thing. And I think organic and I think AI, I think they'll coexist, but like, is anybody going to be able to make a living doing the other one anymore? Nobody's making a living doing music anymore. It's like hardly anybody. You'll have the Taylor Swifts of the world, but they just represent. Back in the fucking 90s, every band from Seattle was getting signed. Back in the 80s, everybody was getting signed, and we're so oversaturated. I think you're gonna have less and less people that aren't manufactured, like maybe your Taylor Swifts or whatever. They're not gonna want to.
But I think it's a good thing, though. I think that's a good thing.
Could be.
I think not having, while it's also destructive in a way, maybe not having a cultural zeitgeist as cohesive as we used to have 20, 30, 40 years ago is maybe not a bad thing. Maybe it's okay that we all have our own band, our own favorite bands that nobody's ever heard of. I'm sure like a couple of generations away, that's how it'll be. Like everybody's listening to their own shit because everybody's available to make their own shit now and put it out independently. And you got, however it's going to happen, AI or whatever, but maybe that's not the worst thing in the world, where not everybody's listening to the same shit and we're not all being fed the same radio music or the same Hollywood system type movies. Or not everything can just be segmented into,
maybe we're going to reenact, like we're going to go back to like the Renaissance period where all the artists die broke and they're going to keep making their art, but no one's going to make any money from it. Maybe someone will appreciate it later. Todd, what we do is hardly art. You're not fucking Rembrandt.
I might not know art, but I know what I like.
You're not Van Gogh, dude.
what we do, even what we do, man, even what we do on YouTube, is a form of art, and it influences people, and it's and the work you put in on the thumbnails or whatever vibe or look or whatever you're going for on your channel, like that's going to influence somebody else to do something.
Sure.
To see a movie that they would not see otherwise, or that would inspire them to pick up a camera and make their own stuff. Or
people have inspired me, by YouTube and all this other stuff. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's also going to influence the AI knowledge. It's all going to get fed into the bot.
Yes.
There's going to be we're not even gonna have to do this in a couple of years. It'll be like just fake us. Like
stop being such a fucking doomer. Let's start wrapping it up a little bit. Let's talk about your favorite.
I'm getting pretty sick of you trying to tell me what to do. I'm just
hey,
cheer the fuck up, man, is what we're trying to say.
No.
It's all good.
I'm accepting of it. Right?
Okay.
It's like we're all gonna meet our doom. It's fine. No, I'm kidding.
Well, we all know that.
We're all hurling into a deep, dark tunnel of emptiness and nothing.
I'm just along for the ride, baby. Someday I'm gonna be walking with the Heavenly Father and Elvis Presley and all those guys up there. And Adolf. Hey, guess what? Hitler's probably there too. I hate to spoil it, guys.
We'll all be Wormwood.
You know what? I sorry.
Before we wrap this up, let's talk about our favorite. I don't know if you guys saw any films in 2025, but I did promise people we'd talk about our favorite film in 2025. Oh, yeah. Do you have a favorite film? Something that you watched in 2025 that you want?
Why are you coming at me so aggro, bro? Dude, bring it down. That's something.
Chill, brother.
Something in 2025.
Was 2025 was my least movie watching year I've had in a decade. Yeah, dude.
Wow. I watched too.
It's because I had so much going on, like the pregnancy and the kid, and there's so much going on this year. There's tons.
You and Alpha with your kids. I was just kidding.
I'm just saying, like it was, and I look at I log everything on Letterboxd. I'm like, dude, it's pathetic how many new movies I watched. And usually I'd find myself when I had like moments to spare, I would rewatch old classics because you don't feel bad if you fall asleep to those and you've seen them a million times. They're comforting. Yeah, dude. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I mean, I watched like I said, I watched Weapons a few nights ago. I thought that was good. It reminded me of Longlegs in the sense that it was a really mysterious premise and the actual solution was something so basic and simple, like, a witch came into town.
Did you enjoy it more than Longlegs or no?
About the same. So like 8, maybe 8 out of 10s for me.
Okay.
I think as far as like a big budget type of horror film, event film, and you got like big actors in it, I don't know. Weapons is about as good as it's gonna get. I think you can't complain. We need those movies. We need the big ones.
Sure.
And I think it's great. I think what's his name? Craig. What's his name? Fucking whatever his name is.
Craigers.
Dude, Craigers. That's what I would call him if we were tight. What's up, Craigers?
Like Tom Cruise and Durst.
What's up, Craigers?
What up,
I thought it was an improvement over Barbarian because Barbarian was
Zach Crager. Yeah.
So there was a little bit of levity in this movie, but it was placed subtly and everything felt more like an even body of work. Whereas Barbarian, it starts off really cool. It's like, I really like all this shit going on. Then all of a sudden we switch to Justin Long and fucking LA and the sun. And it's like, what the fuck? And then the third act, was a little ridiculous. This one felt more.
Some people like some people like the other one better, which I totally get. It didn't work for me. So
I don't like it better personally.
That was just me. I don't know if Alpha liked that one better, but
I didn't like Barbarian at all. So yeah,
Weapons didn't? Okay.
No, Weapons was definitely a step above for me.
Okay.
And Justin Long didn't offend me. You're right, because you guys told me, he shows up. I kind of forgot about it's fucking Justin Long.
We know how Alpha loves Justin Long.
He fucking no thanks.
But I'm a big fan of those premises where it's like, it's just a witch who rolled into town. We don't know anything about Aunt Gladys. It's cool. Then Todd's like, well, they're doing an Aunt Gladys fucking spinoff series. Of course they are. God dang it. Just leave it alone. We like because you're asking all those questions like, God, did that one bitch did she know her aunt was a fucking witch before she invited her over? You have always questions like, where did she pick this up? And I like that we don't know it. And I personally like those little moments of levity. I love the ending where the kids just rip her to shreds.
Oh yeah,
I'm like,
yeah. I
that was
did.
very satisfying. I'm like, oh, okay. It's like,
It was a satisfying ending, yeah.
yeah.
Um,
What'd you
yeah,
watch?
I liked Weapons. I liked it. I didn't love it. Hated 28 Years Later. I think I saw that
I did
this
too.
year.
Yeah.
It wasn't a
see
big
it.
fan of that. I mean, I didn't see a lot in 2025, to be honest with you. Like the
Okay.
big one, I guess, that I was really looking forward to and watched and really enjoyed was Ari Aster's Eddington. We went to the theater and saw
Oh,
that, and
Didn't see it.
yeah, I mean, nobody did, and that's but it's I really enjoyed it. I liked it. It's one of those. It's an Ari Aster film already, so it's going to take a bunch of left turns that you're not expecting, and it's like one of those movies that starts out as one genre and then all of a sudden it takes a hard left turn into another genre and then all of a sudden takes a left turn into another genre. So at least it was entertaining on that aspect where it was something new to see. I did try to watch David Cronenberg's new film The Shrouds.
I
Have you
want to
guys
see
seen
that.
that
How
yet?
is that?
I haven't
No,
seen
I
it.
don't want to see it.
It didn't
No?
wasn't doing it for me, man. I don't know, man.
Wow.
Cronenberg, I love Cronenberg, but something about his most recent the last few films for me, it's just like there's just some disconnect there for me with his films. Like it's a great concept, like the whole concept of. So if you guys don't know
His
what it
wife
is,
dying. Yeah.
yeah, his wife dies, so he creates this thing where he can watch her body rot in her grave.
Mhm.
Like he's always watching, and it turns on to something else, and it's a great. I mean, it's an interesting concept, but just something about Cronenberg here lately. Just I felt the same way about Crimes of the Future, his
Yeah,
last
I didn't
one.
like that
Prior
at
to that, I
all.
was just something about it just it doesn't connect with me. So wasn't the biggest fan of that one. So yeah, I guess out of all the movies that came out in 2025, Eddington's probably the favorite of mine that I've
Gotcha.
seen. I haven't seen Sinners yet. I saw that was on Amazon Prime here recently.
It's
So
okay.
I
It's
might try to
solid.
check
It's
Pretty
that
good.
out.
Yeah.
that movie's all about the sound design. It's like the star of the show. It's really well made.
Okay.
The thing
It's
about the watching your wife rot, that is one of those like things you think about in the shower. Like, it'd be interesting. What if somebody could do that? And a good idea doesn't mean it's a good story. I haven't seen it, but
Well, and I don't know if you guys remember this, but years ago, I think it was like early days of the internet, there was a website called
Right.
watchmerot.com.
Oh fuck.
Oh,
No, I
And
don't
it
know
was
that.
just it was just a website and it would just had like two blurry, like kind of grainy, because it was like I said, early days of the internet, grainy photos, and it would update like every 60 seconds, every 90 seconds of supposedly a body in a grave. And it would
that's
just show
weird.
and it went on for years and years and years, and eventually the website was taken down. Nobody knows whether it was a real thing or it was a prank or whatever it was, but it was a website called watchmerot.com. And
That's
I bet that's
crazy.
where Cronenberg probably got the idea from. But yeah, I can't remember what year that was, but like probably 2000s
They're
sometime.
they're still sitting on the domain. They want 10 grand for it if you want to resurrect it.
That's crazy, man.
Whatever. I mean, Megan 2.0 best horror of the year. I didn't see that. What about releases, like physical releases? If
Well,
that's your
I'm still
jam
gonna
out?
go over my favorite film of the year.
Oh, my bad. Okay, what did you see? What did you like?
So it's a film that I watched earlier in the year, and it's a film I actually watched tonight with the wife,
Uh-huh.
and she gave it a 7.5 out of 10.
Happy Gilmore 2.
No, no,
That's an 8 out of 10 at
Close
least. Come
second.
on.
No. This one is one that is directed by Drew Hancock, who is from my neck of the woods. He's from Omaha, Nebraska, and
That's the very rare docs. Todd never says where he's from.
I never say this. but
Everybody clip it.
This guy is from West Side High School. He graduated from West Side High School in 2009 or 2009, I believe, or 1999. One of the two. It is Companion, which I don't know if you guys seen Companion yet.
I haven't seen it yet.
But this one is it's a sci-fi-esque horror film about a robot. It's a horror thriller comedy. It's a hell of a lot of fun. It's streaming on HBO. I've seen this movie twice now. It's just I don't know. There's something about this. It's starring Sophie Thatcher. You've probably seen her in other films too. Total babe, man. She's freaking hotter than hell. and she plays one of the AI robots, and it's just a lot of fun, man. It's hysterical, and it's a great movie. So I'd highly recommend checking it out if you haven't seen it. It's on HBO.
I think
So
I've heard people mention that before, but I didn't really know too much about it. But I've heard that name come up. But you talk about horror comedies, and
yes,
I'll put this on my list too, because this technically, this did come out in 2025, and it was one that I was expecting to absolutely fucking hate, but had to watch it for channel reasons. But Tina
Oh, no.
Romero's Queens of the Dead, man.
yes, we need to watch that, dude. We need to watch it, man.
No,
I
we
was
don't.
dreading it. I was like, okay, well, I gotta watch it. I'm gonna review it, but I don't expect much from it.
Mm-hmm.
And as I was watching it, I was like, this is actually really fucking funny. And it's actually really good. Like, it didn't even like it as a zombie movie, like it really didn't need zombies, but as a movie about this culture of like drag shows and like the gay club scene and stuff, like the characters in it were all interesting and very well written, very funny. Like, I don't know, I was blown away. Like, I so much so that I messaged Tina after that, was like, hey, I just wanted to let you know I do this channel, and I was kind of expecting to hate this movie, but I want to say, like, you got chops. Like, I'm very impressed with it. So yeah, I would have to put Queens of the Dead on my list of movies that I actually watched in 2025 that I actually liked, believe it or not. Like, because like I said, I was going in with very low expectations and came in like I said, it was probably the most fun I've had watching a zombie movie since probably Shaun of the Dead. So it's
Cool. We need to check that out. Yeah. Because
I'd be curious to see, because what
can
you
do
guys
it,
think
Todd.
about it.
I don't want to watch it. Hey, so it's better than Festival of the Dead. Festival of the Dead.
Oh, far and away better than
Festival of the Dead?
Living Dead. I will say it's a movie that not everybody's gonna like, but it's I don't know, it just really caught me off guard, because I was so expecting it to just be like, oh, it's a cash grab, she's trying to cash in on her dad's name and do a zombie movie and all that. But it's actually, you can tell she comes from that world, so she's writing about what she knows, and it comes across on the screen of like, oh, I'm experiencing this other culture, this other thing that I'm not used to it. And none of the characters are just like, because I was expecting like just overly obnoxious, overly politicized stuff that it's just like, oh, why do we got to do that? But it's not that at all. Like, it's really just about these quirky cast of characters in this predicament of a zombie apocalypse, and what that would be like from their perspective. And it's actually really well written, really well made, and actually I found myself laughing out loud quite a bit watching it. I'm one of those guys that, like, I don't laugh very easily when I watch a movie. Like, it has to be something really clever, or just something so out of left field that I'm just like, what the fuck. But so yeah, I have to put it over, man. I had to put it over. I wasn't expecting it, but
did you like it better than Survival of the Dead?
Yeah, actually, I think so.
Yeah, okay. Then I'll watch it.
Look, I watched ticked off trannies with knives for this channel. I've watched Divine eat dog shit. I've met my quota, so it's not for a lack of an open mind. I just I don't know. I won't give a shit.
I'll watch it. I'll report back to Aaron.
Have you guys ever seen Party Monster from like 2003?
I know it.
Macaulay Culkin, Seth Green.
Yes.
It has that vibe to it.
Okay.
It has that vibe to it, but a little bit more. It has zombies, and it has a little. It's more of a comedy as opposed, but it has that the characters in it. It's like it's like if Party Monster met fucking Dawn of the Dead or whatever, or Day of the Dead. There's a lot of, and as a Romero fan, there's a shitload of like, little Easter eggs and cameos in it that are just like hilarious. When you see them, you're just like, wow, okay, I like what they did there. That was clever. So I don't know. I dug it. So
I will watch it.
Todd, if it's at least a 6 out of 10 on your scale, well, your scale's fucked up. You like shit sometimes. If it's at least a 7 out of 10 for you, I will watch it and we'll cover it.
Okay.
But you got to be honest with me. Don't fucking troll me.
I will be honest.
Don't tell me it's amazing if you really thought it was shit and you tricked me to watching it.
I'm not gonna trick you. Don't worry about that.
I got a new baby. I only got so much time to watch movies.
Me too, dude.
You fucking waste my time.
I got 2 kids that are
No. We'll see.
No, but
we'll see.
no, kind of wrapping it up, but no, we really appreciate Alpha coming on tonight, though. It's
Oh, I was
been,
going to talk about
anytime, guys.
releases.
you want to talk about what?
I asked you about what releases you liked, and you're
Oh,
fucking,
I'm sorry.
you're like, oh, you cut me off, and now
He's
you're
got-
cutting me off.
I'm sorry. He's got a new baby. I don't want to keep him if he does. Yeah, I mean,
We can be done in 5 minutes.
no, okay.
Todd, what's your
We're
favorite
fine.
release? What's your favorite release this year, asshole? Come on, tell us.
My favorite, dude. I've been broke this whole year, man.
Yeah.
God, what can I pull out real quick?
Oh no! That's famous last words.
Here's your release.
Go ahead, guys. Go ahead, and
You have
then
the
I'll
Jergens, dude,
catch
it
up.
just
I'll
shoots
catch up.
dude.
Well, this is one that I just picked up. I haven't bought a lot this year either. Just because I'm just like I'm out of the paying $60 for if I can, But this is one I had to get just because what it has on it's awesome. Like it's from Dark Sky Films.
Mm.
It's the new Chain Reactions Texas Chainsaw Massacre documentary. The
Oh,
documentary itself,
I didn't even know that came out. That's cool, dude. Okay.
it's the documentary itself is fine.
Mhm.
But the bonus features on this thing, so this pretty much includes like, let me see here, eight or nine different versions of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but it's not like different cuts and different stuff like that. It's got a 16 millimeter print on it, another 16 millimeter barbecue edition print. It's got a 35 millimeter grindhouse print. It's got a VHS 1984 K-Tel Australian VHS version on here. So it pretty much takes all these versions from over time. Like it's got the Wizard Video VHS transfer. It's all these different ways to watch tech. It's got all of it on here, man.
It has the Wizard Video. Damn.
Yeah,
That's
yeah. So it's like
crazy.
you're watching the VHS of Texas Chainsaw Massacre because they all look and feel different. And a movie like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, it's almost like the worse it looks, the more effective it is.
I agree, 100%.
So like I watched the 35 millimeter grindhouse print, and it looks rough, it looks gritty, and it feels like you're watching it at a drive-in theater back in the 70s or something like that, and it adds so much to it. I don't know. It's one of those movies, kind of like Last House on the Left or something like that.
Yeah.
It's like the worse it looks, the better the experience is. So I'd recommend anybody that likes Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Like I said, the documentary is fine. It's interesting to hear Stephen King and Patton Oswalt and a couple other people talk about the movie, but to have all those versions of Texas Chainsaw Massacre included is just, it's you can't beat it for my money.
Who put that out?
Dark
You said
Sky Films.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Dark Sky Films.
Awesome, dude.
Satan Mutineer saw your tits this morning on Master Chaos channel. Who are you talking to, Todd? What do you Mutineer saw you this morning on Master Chaos channel?
I wasn't on Master Chaos, but was Alpha on there?
No, I don't know what Master Chaos is.
Trolls 2 4K. It's not even out yet, right?
No, yeah, I think that's out. I think that's out from Vinegar Syndrome. Yeah.
Oh, did it actually come out? So I have what's your release, Todd?
Oh no, I was just gonna say you'd see my tits on here first before Master Chaos.
Whip them out. Just do it. Whip them out.
No, that's on the members only. I mean, Satan's got to join the membership, brother.
Well, I think Alpha's technically a member.
Free.
Alpha's technically a member this month. Show him. Show us your tits.
It's true. It's true.
Well, Alpha's seen him. I mean, come on. Keep going.
I've milked them. Hey guys,
you've seen the hairs.
Oh, dude, they really are a thing of legend. They're insane.
Yes.
But so I've got a few that I'm going to show real quick. The one I'm not going to show is the TMNT box set. It was my most anticipated release, but because Arrow did me dirty, I'm not even going to fucking acknowledge them. They just don't buy from Arrow ever straight. Don't buy from Arrow direct. They will just treat your shit like dog shit. They pack stuff in boxes that are 5 times too big, and they put no packing in it. I don't know what their problem is. Anyway, but I will mention this release of Perfect Blue. I think it's
you did get that. Okay.
I did. It's not, look, I'm not a huge anime guy. This is just an amazing film. I love the Alpha. Have you ever seen this?
I haven't, but I've heard people talk about it, and it's
incredible. I think it's one of
piqued my interest because I'm like you, I'm not an anime guy at all, but I've heard it's actually just a really good movie. So,
but that's how most, you know what? I had my mind all closed to anime. I grew up thinking, oh, it's that fucking weeb shit, and it's all like, it's all that shit. It's not. like a lot of these things are they're just movies that happen to be animated. And I was sort of going down the rabbit hole. I kind of started with the basic stuff. Like if you're a seasoned anime fucking nerd, you're probably like, oh god, it's like the equivalent of listening to Nevermind and Black Album and all these.
Yeah.
That's your first and Appetite for Destruction as your first rock records, and oh god, you
Yeah.
fucking poser. I went through all those. I went through the Studio Ghibli stuff. You know, I went through Ghost in the Shell. I went through Akira, but that's look, those things exist for a reason. They are the gateways. You need to like watch that stuff first. And I shut myself up because I'm like, dude, some of these are just really good movies that happen to be animated. And this is a fucking psychological thriller slasher in animated form. And it, you know, it's gonna have and I like Japanese culture, which is funny because I was never big in anime, but I love Japanese culture. And it's got a little bit of that here because it centers around a kind of fallen Japanese pop star. They take their pop stars very serious. And but yeah, you get to watch this and you can see where basically this is basically Black Swan. Like this is the movie that they say he ripped it off. It's they just took instead of ballet, it's a pop star. Same fucking shit, but it's awesome. And but you know, they have a Blu-ray out too. You know, you guys don't have to feel like you have to get this version. I would just stream it and see if you dig it, but great flick. And I haven't watched that yet. I just know it's already a great movie. I haven't watched this yet either. I picked up the Reanimator Second Sight because this is one of the greats. And like I said, I haven't opened it up either, but I know Second Sight and I know the movie and I'm pretty sure I'm gonna love it. And the other one, I haven't watched this either, but this thing is a specimen. This is the Possession set.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this is a monster. Like I would club somebody in the head if they broke into my house tonight with this.
Jesus.
And it's like, yeah, it's like the Dawn set or whatever. But
yeah.
I don't know if you guys have ever seen this movie. I know Todd.
I haven't seen it. No, I haven't seen it.
I hadn't seen it until maybe 6 months ago. I watched it for the first time. It was one that I've always been kind of interested in checking out. And it's one of those movies, like as I was watching it, I was having this constant debate in my head of like, do I like this? Like,
yeah,
is this good? Is this, I don't know. But then like I found myself weeks
thinking about it.
Weeks after, just kept going back to it. Like, man, I'm going to watch that again. I really want to watch that again. Wow, that was pretty intense. Okay.
It's one of those movies that digs its fucking claws in you. That's exactly
it possesses you. It possesses you. Like that's kind of how it feels. You're just like, yeah, that was a pretty amazing scene. Like, wow, I kind of want to go back and see that again.
But yeah, there's the famous like that tunnel scene or whatever where she's going fucking batshit. But yeah, that's exactly how I would have summed it up. It's like
or even just like the scenes where the her and Sam Neill meet in the restaurant and they're talking about their divorce and stuff, and just the way that scene plays and it's really the whole movie is basically about this horrible divorce that these two are going through and how awful divorce can be for two people and how it can really come off as like the person that you thought you knew and loved has been possessed by this demon or creature or something. And it really works on multiple levels. But even that scene I think about all the time now. I'm just like, that was really well done the way that they did that. Like I appreciate it more the more I think about it. Yeah.
It is the opposite of junk food horror. It's dense and it's just one of those movies that sticks with you. And shout out to Sam Neill, who's low key a scream king. You know, obviously he's been in a lot of shit. I watched I got my In the Mouth of Madness Arrow 2. I watched that 2 nights ago actually. And love that movie. That gets better every time I watch it.
It's phenomenal. I love that movie too.
I find something more in that movie every time I check it out. And gosh, I feel like there was something else I was going to say, but yeah, Todd, you should watch Possession. It's one of those thinking man's movies. It's gonna you're gonna chew the fat on it for a while, and you're gonna watch it, and you're like, yeah, I was like, I don't know if I like this or not, but I couldn't stop watching it. I was very interested in what was going on. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck I was watching half the time. I had to like break it down after the fact because I'm a Luddite like that. But yeah, it's great. But I guess that's it.
No, I got mine.
Oh, you do.
Okay. So the first one I haven't seen, which I did acquire here maybe 3 days ago, was Eyes Wide Shut 4K. So I am excited to watch this. I hear it's great. Like it's been getting nothing but good reviews. So That's one. Two that I have seen that I was very excited about this year, and I'm very happy that picked up was the Sleepaway Camp movies, 2 and 3. So yeah, very happy with those. The last one, this is a great release, man. Even if you had a regular Blu-ray release, it's fine, but this release in general, it's a phenomenal movie, and it's Cruising. It's the Cruise.
Cruising's great.
It's phenomenal, dude. This set, it's kind of feels leather, dude. It feels like you're you're back in the 70s, dude.
Yeah. Get your leather daddies and
You need a handkerchief, dude.
Was that a 4K release or just a blue?
It's a 4K, dude.
That is a 4K. Okay.
Yeah, you didn't have this one?
I didn't get it. No.
Oh, you didn't. Okay. Yeah.
I think Cruising's
really
great. Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't have the chunky boxes anymore, I bet.
Probably not, dude. This
Yeah.
is pretty quick. So yeah.
I don't want it then. I don't do the chunky. So wait, you said you've never seen Eyes Wide Shut, or just not that release?
I watched the release. I've seen
Okay.
Eyes Wide. I have the Blu-ray of it. I just don't have this 4K of it. So
One
Yeah,
movie,
that
I love
4K,
Eyes Wide Shut.
I was really gung ho about getting that 4K when it first came out, but it sold out so fast. I went to my local
did.
Barnes and Noble. They didn't have it. They had the Blu-rays, but I was like, yeah, I just kind of want the 4K because that's one of my favorite movies. That's probably my favorite Kubrick movie.
they'll restock it. I mean,
It
Criterion.
took
Yeah,
a couple
yeah.
months. Yeah,
I'll get it
in.
at some point. But yeah, it was a big seller when that first came out.
I got it as well, and I had to reorder it because I mean, they fucking, I was telling Todd, when the insert is sometimes like pulled out from under the plastic and it's wrapped that way.
Yeah.
And so when I opened it, it fucking ripped the whole fucking top. And I'm like, I don't want this shit.
Replace it.
So I rebought it. It's on back. And I'm totally gonna swap it out because I'm like, this is a bit much. Like, it looks bad.
Yeah, I got this on sale and it took like 2 months to get it. So
yeah,
it's one of those things. Whatever.
One last honorable mention. It's not a new movie by any stretch. It's not a new. I don't think it was even a new release. I just bought it with one of these to like get some free shipping because I always wanted to see Narc. That movie Narc, the Jason Patrick and Ray Liotta movie from like 2001. Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I haven't seen
that.
it though.
Okay, but it was like a buzz movie back then. It was kind of made on a Jason Patrick, he was kind of just hanging on and he wasn't really a big star. And he came out with Narc and it was kind of a thing. It was it's made on a shoestring budget. I want to say it doesn't cost any more than $5 million, I think I read. And it's about 2 narc officers and there's a little story there. And
Busta Rhymes is in it.
Busta Rhymes does have a part in it. It totally dates it to 2001 a little bit. But anyway, the story behind it's cool because they were struggling to. Tom Cruise saw it and he fucking loved it. So he put a bunch of money behind it with his production company and gave it some money to actually put it out and release and shit like that. So Todd, it's got the Tom Cruise blessing.
I love it.
So and like I said, he's paying it forward, right? Jason Patrick turned down the firm so Tom could have it. And he's like, hey, I gotta throw you some table scraps, Jason Patrick. I feel bad for you. But it's a good movie. It's like an hour and 45 minutes. And I like that it's only $5 million. It's like, I don't know, it's a gritty crime movie. It doesn't have like fucking explosions. It's like you're watching a film version of The Wire or something. And Jason Patrick is pretty fucking good in it. And Ray Liotta is really good in it. It's probably the best I've seen Ray Liotta since, the fucking movie everybody talking, Goodfellas. It was just a good flick, man. I'm like, oh, I'm glad. It's a movie that I always kind of wanted to see and never did. And I'm finding less and less of those types of movies like that I'm going back to. Like, oh, it's a movie I didn't see 20 years ago. And they're always pleasant surprises. So check out Narc if you haven't.
One of those for me. I'm sure you guys have seen May.
Oh yeah.
I still haven't watched May.
I watched it for the first time a few weeks ago, and everybody's always talked about that movie. Yeah, it's good. It's very, very good. I've been going back watching.
I liked it a lot. Yeah.
I've been going back watching a lot of stuff over the last few weeks, last month or so. And one movie, I mentioned it in the chat on one of you guys' streams a few weeks ago, But if I can leave you guys with one recommendation, this is probably my favorite movie that I discovered in 2025, and I just instantly fell in love with it. I think Tarantino took so much from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood from this movie. And it's one that I don't think it's talked about enough. And it's 1968's Targets with Boris Karloff.
Targets. Okay. Yeah.
Check this out. Like this movie, it's basically the story of it's basically Boris Karloff's final performance. And he's playing a version of himself, this old, broken down, old monster movie guy who's tired of making schlocky horror movies, and he's retiring from the business, and his whole thing is like it's the 60s and there's mass shootings and serial killers and stuff, and he's like, nobody's going to be afraid of Frankenstein anymore, like there's no room for me in Hollywood anymore. And so it tells this story of this aging, basically Boris Karloff in his last days in Hollywood, and it's at the same time it's mirrored against the story of this young 20-year-old kid who's like this, white bread, like American family, this kid who's starting to lose his mind and eventually gets a bunch of guns and starts going around LA sniping people and just killing people at random. And it all kind of intertwined, all connects at the end with, Karloff's character, which his name in the movie is Byron Orlock, so it's basically the same guy, but it's but it all kind of intervenes in the end, and it's the perfect showing of like what used to scare people in Karloff's day to what was scaring people at the time of like, and it's so like, wow, it's exactly like everything that's going on now. Like it's you get these kids that just snap and just go around and just start fucking shooting people, and like that's more terrifying than Frankenstein. But at the end, Karloff has a really awesome like ending line at the end of the movie that's just like, really, this is what I'm supposed to be afraid of, is this fucking pussy type of thing. And it's just like, it's so fucking good. Like I said, there's so much about this movie that mirrors Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and I can't recommend it enough. It's Peter Bogdanovich's first flick from '68, Targets. Check it out. Like I said, this is my favorite movie I saw all last year, and it's one of those movies that as soon as I saw it, I went out and immediately bought the Blu-ray from Barnes and Noble, because I was like, I gotta own this movie. So
sure.
Is it black and white, or they gone color with that?
It's color. It's color.
Cool.
Yeah. It's
I did hear you liked Rolling Thunder, which I love that too.
That's another one that I first discovered
really good,
in 2025 that I've become, and Cinema Speculation in the Tarantino book, there's a whole chapter on Rolling Thunder. That was the first thing I read when I got the book. I was like, I want to find out more about this movie. So yeah,
great,
that's a great one too. So yeah, Rolling Thunder and Targets are probably my two favorite movies I saw last year, honestly.
Awesome, dude.
And they're only 45 years old, so whatever.
Hey, no, that's that's great, dude. I love that when you find that diamond in the rough. You find something you haven't seen, and that's been out that long, man. It's a great feeling. I totally get it.
And speaking of movies that were lifted or borrowed from, I got to give a shout out to Shout Factory over here, getting the Golden Harvest films, all those, The Killer, Hard Boiled. Speaking of City on Fire, which is obviously Reservoir Dogs and all that shit. Basically, those are really cool releases as well. And how did we not even bring up the Nightmare box set? Fuck.
Oh.
That's kind of the big one.
So much, yeah.
That was a big one, and sorry you didn't get your copy of that, Robert. Hopefully you got at least a standard one.
Yeah. Hopefully, yeah. It's a good release. I mean, even just the standard is a great release. So
just say stolen. I said lifted. That's pretty stolen.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
homage. It's an homage.
But yeah, dude, if you guys like Reservoir Dogs, watch City on Fire, dude.
I've never seen it. I need to watch it, dude.
Dude, those fucking Hong Kong movies, dude.
I like them, man. I need
Japanese movies, Hong Kong movies. That is where it's at, dude. I'm huge into Asian cinema, and yeah, it's just like for the longest time, guys like Tarantino or guys like James Cameron and guys like fucking Darren Aronofsky, they could lift from Hong Kong cinema or even anime because that shit wasn't, we didn't have streaming, we didn't have the internet. They could lift from shit overseas because nobody had seen it. A lot of it didn't even, especially anime, unless you were going to a fucking Ramada in someone's hotel room in their fucking briefcase and they had like bootleg shit from a guy that went to Japan, all that shit was getting traded and stuff. And yeah, now it's like that shit comes to light. It's like, oh, this came from, they just ripped off this, they just ripped off this, they just ripped off this. I mean, like I said, Perfect Blue, it's just a fucking lift, the whole thing. But yeah, watch the originals, man. A lot of times they're better. Oh, same thing. What is it? Nolan, Inception. Of course, I installed Inception first. Speaking of Satoshi Kon, Perfect Blue, he did a movie called Paprika. It's Inception. It is the same fucking movie as Inception, tit for tat. And
it goes back to the conversation we were having earlier about how other things will inspire other things and live on. It's like that's everything that inspired Tarantino was inspired by the 60s French New Wave, which was inspired by the 30s Hollywood, and everything borrows from something. Like I was watching Vampire from 1932 the other day, and I'm watching it. I'm just like, this has been ripped off so many times by so many filmmakers. Romero specifically. That's why I was watching. I was doing a thing on my show for Martin. Like a lot of Martin, you can see the inspiration that was drawn directly from this movie from the 30s. And there's so many other little callbacks that you can pick out, and it's just like everything. Like the filmmakers now learn from Tarantino and Rodriguez and Kevin Smith in the 90s indie filmmakers, and they learned from the Brian De Palmas and the William Friedkins, and they learned from the Godards and Bergman and those types, and they learned from and it's just like this constant thing. So you can always pick out, oh, that's where they got this from, and you can go back and find that, and then all of a sudden you see, oh, that's they got that from this, and it's a never-ending timeline, man.
As long as people, I think people should give due credit. To be fair for Darren Aronofsky, when asked about it, he owned up to it. And even with this movie, like I said, this is fucking Black Swan. But apparently, he bought some sort of U.S. rights to this, like remake rights, film rights, some kind of right, so he could lift a lot for Requiem for a Dream, because there's a lot of the shots. Because it's got a little bit of Requiem for a Dream in it too. The famous
ass to ass.
Yeah. Well, no, it's got that. It's got shit like that. Yes. And the famous scene where after she gets raped and she's in the shower, the overhead shot for shot. There's a lot of shit lifted from it. But apparently he fucking covered his ass on getting sued with this one.
Boo.
Yeah, man, Tarantino make it so boring. I just give credit. The best example, I'll close it with this. The best example is still James Cameron. James Cameron, like I said, the guy who sued, who wrote that fucking Outer Limits episode, and he's got that writing credit for Terminator because he ripped off the Outer Limits, and and he clearly tried to fight it. And it's just like, dude, just fucking own it. Like, you're still talented. It doesn't take away from your talent, but not everything is like, I don't know. It makes things. I like when people are humanized, like, oh, you're not God. You didn't just come up with this out of thin air. You got it from something. You lifted this, you twisted this, or whatever. And I thought they ripped off X-Men Days of Future Past, the old comic graphic novel, because that is Terminator. It's Terminator, and it came first. It's like, oh no, they both ripped off Outer Limits. So yeah, it just kind of gets kicked down the court and everything.
Well, so many films and so many filmmakers get mythologized over time that people put them on this pedestal and think, oh, they just came up with this shit out of thin air. But it's like, no, everything comes from somebody else somewhere.
Like, influenced.
Yeah. 28 Days Later. Like how many fucking movies in the 2000s did that movie influence? But that movie ripped directly. I don't know if you guys have ever seen The Quiet Earth from the 80s.
Oh God. Yes.
The opening sequence in The Quiet Earth is shot for shot the opening sequence in 28 Days Later when he's waking up in the hospital. Shot for shot. But nobody's going to see The Quiet Earth, and that's not going to inspire anybody in the 2000s, but 28 Days Later sure shit did.
You can't and I don't know why he would have protected his ass over shots. It's probably more than that because there's story stuff there. But you can't copyright a shot. So Mutineer saying Scorsese openly admits that none of his shots are original. You can't copyright a shot. All filmmakers these days, they use something called Shot Deck. It's great. It's a database. You pay monthly for it, and you say, okay, I want a bathtub. I want there to be a woman in a bathtub, and I want it to be overhead. You type in the search engine, and it'll generate all these things to your search from other films. And people will use these shots, and they'll put them in their outline. You know, so people do it. That's totally cool. I think it's just almost like a gentleman's agreement that don't go too hard, like fucking what's that movie that Demi Moore did? Not The Stuff. What's the Demi Moore movie she just did?
The Substance.
The Substance. The same, yeah.
The Stuff.
Whereas, like, there's a lot of blatant shining. Like, do it at your own risk because you're going to look like a fucking idiot when you're just ripping off so much of a very, very classic movie that did it. Just be careful with it. But yeah, nobody. Dude, I was speaking of what's the movie I just watched? Weapons. Not that it's like original, but like when there's, who is it? Is it the mom? I already forgot who it was. There's a woman, there's a knock at the door. She goes out and she's looking front and back. It's just in my short film, it's the exact same fucking. I started thinking, it's like, God dang, this seems like fucking the exact damn same. But it's just the way it is. It's like there's only so many ways to do certain shots too. It's like everybody's gonna kind of do the same thing. But anyway,
Alpha, we need to do a review on The Quiet Earth sometime in the future. Let's just say that, because yeah, I love that movie as well. So
that was one I didn't know anything about. And I just, I think I came across it on like Amazon Prime or something like that. And it sounded like right up my alley. I'm like, oh yeah, the world comes to an end. Everybody disappears. Sweet. Oh, that's me. So I started watching it in the very beginning, the opening. I was just like, 28 days later, I was like fucking DiCaprio in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I was just like pointing at the screen, like 20 days later. That's where he fucking got that. Danny Boyle, you're no genius, sir. This was done 20 years prior. But
that's nobody talks about it either. So yeah, it's one that I think everybody would enjoy as well. So New Zealand flick. So it's great, man. I love it.
I personally like that though. Like I said, when you're a kid, look, you're going to get into the 20 days. You're going to see 28 Days Later before you see that movie. You're going to see Once Upon a Time in Hollywood before you see the other movie. You know, it's the gateways, and people pick on these things that maybe they feel need to have a light shined on them. But when you grow up and you see these things, you think, when you're a sponge, you think these people are gods, and you want to be a filmmaker, you want to be a musician or whatever, a writer. And it kind of like fucks with you a little bit. It's like, oh no, how will I ever be as good as this? How will I ever fucking? I don't have a mom. But then when you find out, like, oh, they just fucking borrowed. It makes you feel better. I used to play games like Metal Gear Solid. I'm like, oh man, this is so cool, man. He's just ripping off every fucking movie in the world, and just putting it into his own story.
Pretty much.
And you know, I used to play Silent Hill. I'm like, oh wow, Silent Hill is just Twin Peaks and Jacob's Ladder, and fucking. It's been done. And you watch Jacob's Ladder, I'm like, oh god, technically Angel Heart came out before this, and they're very similar movies. It's just like,
Jacob's Ladder's better, but yeah,
it doesn't matter. I'm just saying they're the same movies.
I
I'm just saying they're well with different skins, right? One of them's like Louisiana, Deep South, but I'm saying they're similar concepts, similar twists, similar beats, and I don't know. I think it's refreshing, and those are good examples of how you do it and pay homage and do something unique and whatever. But all right.
Yeah.
Hollywood, just stop doing the fucking Jesus Christ story. They turn everybody into like a Jesus Christ martyr in all their movies. And I don't know.
It's great.
All right, guys.
Told, sir.
It's the original. All right, guys. Well, that's it. Thank you. Thanks, Alpha, for joining us, man.
So much,
anytime, guys.
What's your next video? Do you want to promote anything? What are you going to do in that? What's your next stream?
I'll be doing a stream, I think Sunday night. It's just going to be kind of a general conversation. Ask me anything. I'll talk about what I got planned, some guest announcements that I'm working on for the next few weeks. Just kind of hanging out. I haven't done anything with, you know, the holidays and everything. I did the Romero trivia show a couple weeks ago, and so I just figured, you know, the baby's here, kind of settled in a little bit, so it's time to get back at it and tackle 2026 as best as I can. So yeah, Sunday at Alpha Romero 88. That's what it is.
Hell yeah.
check
My
it out.
next stream's in the toilet here in a minute, but we're gonna do we have to do the members only commentary. So this weekend tomorrow we have to let's put up a poll. Let's figure out what we're gonna do next week. And I don't know what we're doing Wednesday, but we'll figure it out. You know?
Go over to Alpha Stream because I'll be over there Sunday. I'm off. I'm done with work now, so I will be back to my normal schedule, and I can't wait, man.
Cool.
My normal streaming schedule where you can actually watch a lot of these streams.
I know with the holidays and everything, I fell behind on a lot of stuff
Crazy.
because it's just been going crazy. Yeah, I'm with the baby and everything. It's just I've been.
Oh, I bet.
My sleep schedule's fucked up. I haven't been working the past couple weeks, and yeah, it's been insane. But
you gotta
trying to get
let
back
us
in the
know.
flow.
Let us know. I imagine since this isn't like Living Dead Weekend's not held at a hotel, like it's not gonna be hard to get a room, right? You got to tell us where to stay, because we still haven't secured a room. Or
Man,
should we jump on
Monroeville,
that?
should probably jump on that. Although usually they open up a block of rooms at the Residence Inn, which is where all the celebrities and stuff stay. And then they announce that block of rooms. It's pretty fairly priced compared to what you're going to pay at the other hotels around that area, unless you want to stay at the Red Roof Inn, which I don't suggest, but do what you want.
Because I know you said that, and now I'm glad you've told us because we didn't realize that you were saying this in jest.
Yes. So tell us where we need to.
You said something like "good old Red Roof Inn." I'm like, okay,
we'll pay the extra money. It's fine. Just tell us where we need to go.
Who got essayed at the Red Roof Inn?
Oh, I'm sure many people. Not me personally, but a guy I know. Him and her got it on. Woo!
So do you stay at Residence Inn? Do you have one there?
That's probably where I'll stay. If not there, usually sometimes I'll just stay like outside of town at the Clarion in Cranberry Township, which is closer to Evans City. So it's kind of like right in the middle of Evans City and Monroeville. But if I stay in Monroeville, which is probably the best bet, Residence Inn is fine. Holiday Inn is good. Yeah, there's some pretty decent hotels around there. They're just a little expensive though, especially if there are any other events that are falling on the same weekend in that area, which seems to happen quite often for some reason, but whatever.
Gotcha.
But,
how far away is the one that's across the tracks that you save money on?
Resident or the
30 minutes, and it's a nice hotel and it's cheap. It's like $80-$90 a night, and it's a nice hotel. It's in a nice area. That's where we were talking about Larry earlier. My buddy Larry, his wife insists on staying in Cranberry because she will not stay in Monroeville because Monroeville's kind of got some rough areas. So she insists on staying in Cranberry Township. So that's usually where those hotels are. And you're right there next to a bunch of stores and restaurants. And yeah, like I said, it's like right there in the middle of between the mall and Evans City Cemetery. So it's a nice place to stay if you're wanting to check out both spots. So because you're kind of right there in the middle. So
gotcha.
You should IM both those recommendations so we can start digging into it. I've already forgotten what it's called. Cranberry Town, whatever.
Cranberry Township, Clarion Inn. Yeah, I got you.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much. Have a good Friday night. We'll catch you next week. See Alpha on Sunday. Bye, everybody.
See you guys.
Big thanks to the Revival House family. Your loyalty fuels our obsession with horror and lets us uncover the darkest, most twisted gems just for you. If you're not a member yet, consider joining the cult today. You'll get early access to videos, exclusive content, and behind-the-scenes scares you won't find anywhere else. Until next time, this is Revival House, your home for horror. And remember, we'll leave the house lights off for you.